That's right, El Primo. The Chippos. The Chippos are right here. Listen, ladies and jerks, thank you for coming on by. We hope you could hear us here at 718 TV Studios. I'm Stained Haynes, he's Monoxus, and we're broadcasting to you here on Words Mean Things, where we're going to be discussing current events, footwear. Footwear? No.
Footwear. Right.
Yes.
Yeah, footwear.
Footwear, party etiquette, and
Accents.
accents. That's right.
Yeah, that's the one I don't know what you want to talk about, but...
So, ladies and jerks, this stream is brought to you by Chippos. All right? Can you see that?
They're grippos, but yeah, chippos.
All right, listen. Spiritually, they're the nourishing chips that you've never had. And El Primo was kind enough to either hire a courier or fucking show up and drop back a duffel bag with this in it. And, like, I don't know what you want me to do with the duffel bag, homie, but I appreciate it, all right?
Hey, there we go.
Hey! Echoes.
Now my phone's checking in on things.
So, ladies and jerks, these Grippos really are, in my opinion, the best goddamn barbecue potato chips this side of the Mississippi.
Yeah, they're solid. I got nothing. Hey, Audimus. Thank you.
Thank you for doing your part, Audimus.
Grippos. This man sent us a, what was it, £1.50? Is that what it was?
He sent us £1.50 of these things like a savage.
It was a recommendation. We ain't sponsored.
Cecil Goal, thank you for doing your part.
Hey, Creep Racer.
Creep Racer, gracias por tu consideración aquí en el estudio de 718 Televisión. And Unclean, thank you for doing your part. You see, speaking of unclean, there are water wells in Ohio that spawn savages that end up shipping you things either through courier or they're just showing up. El Primo, if you showed up to the N train station for Ditmars Boulevard, what did you do at your MetroCard if you really did come down here? I don't know what he does outside the fucking bodega. Like, for all I know, he's a courier who works for a man who works for another man who might not know who he might be. Then he sends us £1.50 of potato chips. So these things happen.
Yeah.
And we're glad you could join us. All right?
Oh my god, I'm covered in like...
Why did you wear your nice shirt for the potato chips?
I did, because I didn't know there were chips coming today. You just showed up with a box full of chips. And you were like, fucking, Madman Muzan sent a box of chips. So we can talk about it in the video.
We did.
I wasn't warned.
El Primo, we did review your review that you had sent us for these potato chips, and we will be putting it up soon. So thank you, really, for your consideration. That was really awfully considerate
I also
of you.
can't stop eating them because they're really good.
This is so much better than, like, the death threats and the ransom letters and, like, the really weird conundrums made of riddles that we sometimes get made out of, like, cut-up letters and numbers in magazines.
I still haven't gotten that mask I was supposed to get.
Stylish Hobocat. I mean, either, like, he got murdered by some fucking criminal outfit somewhere near the Midlands of the United Kingdom, or, for all I know, what if he had a heart attack or a stroke? What if he's held hostage? What if he had his heart broken, and then he just stopped, and now he just doesn't bathe, and he smells, and he grew out a beard, and he's losing, like, mass from being, like, bicycling everywhere and being fit.
You just have, like, a job and a girlfriend, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Then it'd be all fucking, like, doom and gloom.
Well... I mean, I'm not trying to bring it back to that by default, but, like...
I'm just saying, he doesn't die.
He did. He sent the fucking greatest mask I've ever fucking laid. It was a 3D printed mask. It was redonkulous. It was past ridiculous. Not above, but beyond.
Getting in my nails, getting on my shirt.
No, we're keeping this.
No, we're not getting rid of it. I can stop eating them right now. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep doing it.
So, ladies and jerks, there are a number of current event items that we will be covering. But first and foremost, like, how are you? What's going on? Let us know. Some of you are in the same time zone as we are because we're on Eastern Standard Time. You can't spell best without est, all right? A lot of good things have come from Queens. Christopher Walken, Martin Scorsese, Spider-Man, Archie Bunker, John Favreau, and like 17 good other things I'm too lazy to list right now. And like Run DMC. There you go. You happy about that?
Happy belated birthday to America.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't here for that.
No, well, I mean,
we were busy.
Well, I had went to a live event, the Great American Trash, and it was equal parts live music and wrestling. It was ridiculous, no ring, no rules wrestling, where like people got put through tables and doors, and there was a lot of bumps, I believe is the appropriate term in that industry.
How did it say 6 a.m. gang? 6 p.m.
Well, all right.
The verdict? Well, I mean, I don't want to spoil the review. I'll say this much. The chips are good, but they come from a dangerous place, so I can't, in good faith, review them properly.
El Primo, he's busting your fajules.
I have to hold myself back from eating them because I'm going to get chip crumbs everywhere.
I really don't want to spoil the review of the review, but in all honesty, there is a reason it's here on camera, and like to not eat it is like that's the achievement. All right.
There's a reason we filmed a video about a fucking giant bag of chips, and we're like, no, just leave the chips.
Atmos confirmed to be 12 hours in the future, bro. Can you give us like lottery numbers? Come on, man, hook a brother up. All right,
nah,
like
they would be lottery numbers for like somewhere that we're not going to be able to get to for another 12 hours. So by the time we got there, it'd be too late.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's how it is.
Fuck you and your chronomancer logic.
It's a disaster.
So, Dare, what's good, homie? You ran out of homemade cider. Aw, that sucks, dude.
John Woo, what's up? I'm not sure if we said hello specifically. But...
John Woo, the 718 TV Hood correspondent, had showed up and materialized from a dice game between Dirt McGirt and Willie, Rack'em Willie. And he takes time out of his afternoon on a Saturday of shooting the shit with people in the parallel society that platonically coexists with polite society called the Hood.
Hello, hello.
And he shows up. Baby Luca, what's good? Thanks for coming on by. These are potato chips brought to you by Madman Muzan. You could find him in chat. I call him El Primo because, well, that's what the rest of the world calls him. He is like one of 7 honky-looking dudes in like a reservation of everyone that speaks Spanish and languages that need subtitles. So then before you know it...
And you're going to want to keep eating them, but the chips are now blocking your face.
And then before you know it, like, you have to pick this up in a duffel bag somewhere in a train station near where you live from a mild threat / review of potato chips given to you by someone that just sounded like they were cutting a promo on you. So that's where we end up here. Yeah. So, baby Luca, gracias por tu consideración. We're glad you're here.
So, anyway, one of the... Well, is there anything in particular?
So there's current events. Well, okay.
Well, let's do current events. Well, come on, it's current events.
Current events more or less boils down to, was America's birthday?
Sure. Do you want to talk about the party we went to?
Yes, okay. So long story short, there was a party held by a gentleman named James. He's best known as the person behind the MK Ultra Money podcast. And he's also the gentleman behind women posting their L's. He had a birthday party. This jerk showed up with pizza. Our friend showed up with a 36-point Vegeta action figure and a Nerd's rope that was inedible.
Yeah, and 24... was it 12... 24 ounce cans of beer?
Yes.
The full case?
Yeah. A case of Tall Boys.
Yeah.
And I showed up with red velvet birthday cake. And it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was still place.
It was a really nice time. It was a kind of bizarre reminder of how small the world is because, like, people had crossed state lines to get to this party. Whether it was deliberate, like in the case of James Gonzo, homeless airline captain,
mm-hmm.
or in the case of, like, Yojimbo King, who just showed up because, like, he knew someone who knew someone in the people who were with the yayo shirts, and then they with the hats, and then, you know, bought to you alligator shoes off the yayo, foo. It was bizarre. Because Matty Furious and I had done a video for them, and they liked it enough to post it. So how about that? And how do you know one another? And then it was us. Scorched Earth Policy. Scorched Earth Policy. Ah!
Yeah, I'm going to refrain from using any names of people, mostly because I don't know who has a face docs thing via Twitter.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to avoid outing anyone that I hung out with, but I will say everyone that I did meet was very pleasant, with the exception of maybe one person, which I didn't actually get to formally meet, but they were not. I mean, they were just a pain in the ass to be around.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because there was a, well, I mean, we can go more into when we get to party etiquette, because that was kind of annoying. Again, I don't mind. It's just that, like, come on, it was bullshit. We know it. Everyone knew it.
It was kind of
long story short, we'll get to it later.
You know the analogy of like the drunk uncle at Thanksgiving or whatever. It was like that, but it was just a different dimension of that, but more grounded in real life.
We were in an outdoor venue, all right, open air, surrounded by like trees. You know,
if you have to split hairs about it, this is the back courtyard of an apartment building in a city, a backyard. All right.
But the point is, it was an outdoor, and people were trying to chill, and when people chilled, they smoked cigarettes, and there was like a no smoking cigarettes policy.
Yeah, Dare, why didn't Atomos warn us about 9/11? Bro, what's your deal?
And that came because someone had an apparent allergy, which, as it turns out, ended up being like, unbeknownst to them, found out to be bullshit because like half the party was smoking spliffs, so there was tobacco in everything that was being smoked anyway. But it was like, ew, don't smoke cigarettes, I'm allergic. And then like, but all these like joints that are being smoked that you think are weed are like half tobacco, and you're not having an allergic reaction. So like,
and evidently that was fine. It was such a
you're a fucking liar.
It was such a ugly, I'm gonna make this about me sort of move that was unwarranted for someone else's birthday party.
And again,
it makes no sense.
Not judging the person, but that act was like, this is bullshit, and you know it. Because I don't know the person.
Right.
For all I know, they might be a sweetheart. You know what I mean?
Real quickly, all right? You're not wrong, Atmos. All right, Atmos, I got your attention. Deal with me, all right? Knock, knock, all right? I want to get me a response. Knock, knock, all right?
It's got to be Atmos, though?
Yep, Atmos. It's on you. Knock, knock.
That'd be Atmos.
9/11. Oakley dokily. All right. Nope, that's not. Come on, this is a setup and it's a payoff. Come on, Atmos. Okay.
Come on, you gotta say it.
Don't leave me hanging, homie.
There you go.
You said you'd never forget. Hey, you're all right, Atmos.
Anyway.
So the party was really nice because everyone just fucking devoured the pizza and garlic nuts this guy showed up with. I was really glad. Well, first of all,
food always goes over well.
I was really taken aback by how quickly, like, the plain pie vanished. Like, I was expecting the pepperoni pie to go first.
Well, see, that's the thing. I was actually, when I was like ordering, I was like, fuck. If I just get 3 like regular pies, that's like, all right, 3 regular pizzas at a party of like, because from what I understood, like from the heads, I could have got more, but like 3 regular pizzas, you know that shit's gonna move, right? But getting that pepperoni and that mushroom pizza is a power move, because then there are certain people who are like, nah, this dude knows what's up. Like, he got like some topping pies, so there are some folks like, ooh, mushrooms. And like you said, one of your boys showed up later on and was like, I'm fucking eating that mushroom pizza.
The gigantic mushroom slice I had, he just like, just compacted it in 3 and just...
Swampy Wilkins. 9/11 jokes aren't funny. They're
just plain wrong. Swampy crashing in like frozen bird shit through my roof in the middle of winter. Swampy, what's going on?
Not crashing in like a plane to a tower? Come on, man. Missed opportunity.
No, listen. So, what can one person do? What can just one person do? Swampy answered that call today.
I'm a little sad the background is, I kind of want to like let the background...
Because he's hoping you could see that this is where you have to fight Alex in Street Fighter 3. Can you see that?
Uh-oh.
Oh, and by the way, this is a really good time to plug the potato chips. Grippos, goddamn, they really are the best barbecue potato chips to this side of the Mississippi.
They got a rock, paper, scissors.
All right.
And Kool-Aid's not here to keep track.
We're gonna have to. You know what? I'll write this down. You got a pen?
I'm not writing it down. No one gives a shit.
Give me a fucking.
No one but Kool-Aider cares.
Kool-Aider, it will.
I have a phone. Just make a note.
No, I've got to let these fucking jerk asses.
All right, at Kool-Aider on Twitter right now, and then tell them the results.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell these jerks that we're live first. Hold on. Come in chat. We're not gonna be like Kamala Harris, who's not gonna let the Guatemalans come.
Was that a thing?
All right, yes.
Oh my god, that was actually a thing. Jesus.
It's
hold on. I've been completely ignoring politics recently because they're not funny anymore. They're just sad. I might need to be filled in on that because I know there's something about her not wanting to go to the border. Is that also true?
Oh, I was under the impression
like she's
that
like dancing around the fact that she's just not going.
I was under the I was under the impression. Well, I didn't know about that. I was under the impression that Jill Biden was going to be sent to the South with an armored column to personally knock on people's doors so they could get vaxxed.
I'm gonna hydrate with not water.
Can you please? Oh, he's breaking the rules. You see that? Like, I want to hydrate with water. This jerk is drinking juice. Yeah, that's what he's drinking.
Fermented
Listen,
juice.
You've got to take it up with this guy, all right? Like, I'm not trying to bust your balls here, but you got to take your complaint department, whatever, like, formatting memo you had in mind, you got to take it up with him.
Rock, paper, scissors. Are you done writing fucking making tweets?
Do you have something to write with?
No, I don't. 2 out of 3. Ready?
This is bullshit. That's 2 out of 3?
Yeah, 2 out of 3.
All right, someone...
Okay. 2 out of 3.
All right, Swampy, this is for you. You're going to have to keep count if and when Kool-Aid shows up, all right?
On 3. Ready?
All right.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Got him. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Got him.
Ah! All right. You see that?
Kamala did like one time after all this stuff came out. Yeah, but like before that, she was just doing the whole like, yo, Kamala, you gonna go? Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll go there when I got time. Bitch, you have nothing but time. You're doing nothing. What has changed? They're still in the quarantine, right?
She's been...
What's going on, Kool-Aider? Right in time.
Kool-Aider, did you catch? You see, finally, Kool-Aider, like, fucking challenging the devil to a fucking fiddle contest.
He sensed that rock, paper, scissors was happening. It's like, well, shit. Actually, no, technically we said his name, so we spoke his name out loud.
Kool-Aider, that's right. You see? Kool-Aider paid attention. Kool-Aider confirmed to be a living Charlie Daniels song.
Presidents used to fight the war. Yeah, well, that was like... Well, when was the last time a president actually had a fight in the war? We're talking about, like... Fuck, like... I don't think Lincoln competed.
No, but wait. Speaking of Lincoln, hold on. Atmos is like UFC cage match Biden versus Z. All right, now here's the thing. Porky little puke Z. Z would just fucking sit on Biden and kill him.
No, Biden's a fucking dementia-ridden old man.
If we had to pick United States presidents, like imagine like Teddy Roosevelt in his prime, or Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we're gonna pick someone to fight, it's gonna be fucking Roosevelt.
No, if not Roosevelt, Abe, King of the Cage Lincoln would have to be like the best, like foreign, like like if we had cage match diplomacy.
I was gonna say Washington was actually a fucking general.
Does Kennedy count? He was in the missile crisis. No, but danger, like okay, like fucking other dudes' wives and girlfriends is not good in like throwing hands in the rings. So I'm not sure how well Kennedy would do in cage match diplomacy.
Although I would love if we could just settle scores like that. We'd have to stop fucking voting.
Bro, then we could have had like President Dan Severn, and like we could have solved all the world's problems. We could have
Mike Hagar for president,
Mayor of Earth.
Yeah, but I mean that would kind of curb people voting for these old ass motherfuckers. Because it's like, nah, like if Putin wants to be like, yo, 1v1 me right now for like that land. And you can't say no. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to put Biden up because Putin's going to fucking whop him.
Well, listen, Biden is just going to be like practice mode. Like, like the training dummy that just keeps getting like, back up.
If we had that rule that they can like straight up square up, I mean, like we'd have to make it very like.
Okay, but what if? Would you allow if elected leaders were able to meet someone halfway? Like, let's say. Like the prime minister of like Indonesia, like someone talks shit and he's like, yo, we could settle this right now in the parking lot. And it's not quite a cage match, but it's cage match diplomacy in a parking lot. Now like the prime minister of Indonesia and the prime minister of Belgium are like knuckling down and their sleeves are rolled up and it's like 15 minutes in and both of their faces are kind of like hamburger meat. And like
I would even go so far as to say any like fair competition of
does cage match diplomacy have to explicitly be within the confines of a cage or an octagon, or can we settle it like imagine like the prime minister of Italy like meets like the prime minister of Guatemala and they're throwing hands in the beach.
No. You're just assuming it's only throwing hands. I wouldn't mind if Italy and France were like, all right, we're gonna settle some score right now. We're having a fucking cook-off. And USA's judging, because those motherfuckers eat. And that's how we're going to settle this shit. And whatever, you pick your fucking leader, they make a dish, and USA is like, alright, they win. Or like someone's like, yo, I'll throw hands. Listen, I'm an old ass bitch.
Right,
See me in chess.
But how do you stop? We
get Obama back in office, and he sees motherfuckers in basketball.
But
So
how do you stop West
good.
Tibet from meddling in all of this? You know?
How do you meddle in the fucking? How you gonna meddle in a chess match? It's right here. In a cook-off? You don't let them judge anything.
Oh, Taft would win a sumo match. Dare, you're not wrong. Like, that's, like, listen, like, Taft was fucking small animals died in his shadow. Yeah, that's how fat he was. Madison went on horseback trying to evacuate Washington, D.C. during the War of 1812, but that's it. Okay, well, Kool-Aid with the American history. Roosevelt tried to fight in World War I, but wasn't allowed.
Sorry, Swampy Wilkinson's last one.
The only rule is that Down with Sickness needs to be playing. The venue is moot, in my opinion. William to come and see Sherman versus Greta. The fetal alcoholic.
Yo, there you go, Dare. The UN can be useful and judge or manage like security. You can just fucking you can use the UN as the judges.
No, but here's the thing. Atmos, Taft and Churchill would probably combine forces just to like have benders and eat and like screw prostitutes, and then probably Taft his heart would like pop like a pimple, and he'd have a heart attack, and he'd die before Churchill does.
Here's a fun one. Assuming we're allowing multiple competitions, not just like fisticuffs, right?
Right. Well, assuming I'm in the chat. You gotta. It is cage match diplomacy explicitly tethered to the confines of comeuppance in a cage, and if not, is comeuppance allowed in like a parking lot?
All I'm saying is
in front of the Chrysler Building,
assuming that they can have competitions of their choice,
like a 5-minute drive away from where Atmos is.
What
does it count?
What useful thing could Biden throw at somebody to try and win?
Nothing.
You're dead set. Nothing.
Not a goddamn thing.
You don't think he can talk circles around somebody?
He could. No.
No.
Unless he like rolls 320s with like speech.
What if his entire thing is like
he could probably induce an aneurysm in his opponent through speech.
So that's what I'm leaning into.
The world is their squared circle. There's no escape save for it by intergalactic spaceship. That's right, Kool-Aider. Cage match diplomacy 24 hours a day. It's like the hardcore title. We should have cage matches for Kool-Aider and Monoxis.
Not happen.
Oh, well, first of all, the only way that's going to happen is if Kool-Aider wins a wrestling match against Monoxis. And Monoxis does not want to have a wrestling match against Kool-Aider.
I would sooner have a cage match than a wrestling match.
Really?
Yeah.
You heard it here first, ladies and jerks.
Because at least in the cage match, I can use some of my strengths to my advantage. Where wrestling, I'm kind of shit out of luck. I'm pretty sure he's bigger than me. It's a huge advantage in wrestling.
Yeah, and also, Kool-Aider residing in Florida may or may not be a Highlander because, fun fact, Florida Man is a Highlander. Why do you think Why do you think Florida Man is always up to some shit every day?
That's why he wants to kill me so badly?
Well, I mean, like, if you are a Highlander, you've hit it this long. I didn't know about that.
He wants my sweet, sweet powers.
He just wants your mask. Kool-Aider, all you gotta do is ask, you jerk. Why are you sniffing out the paranatural that exists between meat space and, like, that which is in the beyond?
Get the fuck out of here. I need that immortality so I can keep smashing.
Listen, Monoxis is too busy.
The video game, what?
Monoxis is too busy.
What's going on, Real Hero?
Yo, Real Hero, what's going on, homie? Gracias. We are trying to look a little. Listen, like I'm just happy to be here. It's been like 2 weeks since we had streamed because, like, I mean, last week there was a party. We covered that in current events, but then this guy ends up like wearing a fancy T-shirt. Not T-shirt. It's a collared shirt. He ends up wearing a fancy shirt, courtesy of Madman Muzan, and his shirt is dirty because this shit flies out all the way from Ohio, and then it ends up in a duffel bag in a fucking subway station.
Speaking of which, I kind of want to eat some of these tasty chips. I'm going to regret it.
They're really good. I mean, El Primo was all like, they're the best goddamn barbecue potato chips this side of the Mississippi. He's not wrong.
Yeah, they're pretty good chips. I say pretty good, and what I mean is I don't think I've had a better barbecue chip in this state, or let's see, I had barbecue chips in Boston, weren't better.
Now, I would like to point out that they do have like the texture of like the kettle cooked chips, and if you look over in the ingredients, it says, let's see, potatoes, spice, salt, and oil. All right. That's it.
Chip review streams from now on. I mean, if people keep sending us chips or we keep finding chips, we're going to keep eating chips on stream. I'm not going to lie about that.
I mean, it's not even... Listen, if you want to send us delicious chocolates or candy from your country, just send it to us.
And to be fair, I mean, I eat almost anything, so, like...
Now, hang on.
Nothing's off the table.
Hang on, you jerks. The only way we could properly do this is you got to do what El Primo did, all right? Now, he made a review of what he sent us, and we reviewed his review. So soon on 718 TV, you're going to see us reviewing Madman Muzan's review of these Grippos potato chip. No, we are not talking about the Gorilla Glue grip pussy that bitch in the next town over has. We're not talking about that. We're not talking about Gorilla Glue weed. We're not talking about Gorilla Glue glue in and of itself. We're talking about Grippos. Not hippos, Grippos.
I'll review Gorilla Glue if you want. I use that shit all the time.
What's the 718 TV dead drop location? Oh, you're going to have to... I don't know what you're talking about, Dare. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, say no more.
There definitely isn't a location.
No, we just had to answer to the demands of a fucking Ohio savage. Like, that's what we had to do.
Yeah, and he got doxxed in the process. Which, to be fair, I'm pretty sure we're still...
Well, I wouldn't say doxed. He just now knows, like, where the mailman walks.
Well, that's fair. But, I mean, either way... at some point in the, I'm going to say near future. I think it's going to happen, if not by the end of this year, once my job stabilizes a little bit, then next year. I still want to take a trip to Ohio and hang out with them boys.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
And then we'll be in their home.
That would be really delightful.
That's neither here nor there, though. Oh, yeah. You know, the bag that ships, a bag that came in a box. That's the thing, though. They're not like, they're like manufactured in like a factory setting, from what I understand, because these weren't sealed at all. Like it wasn't.
It was just tied with this.
Wasn't an air-filled pouch.
Oh wait, Kool-Aid's here. You gotta get the green screen.
Oh right, eat some chips.
Kool-Aid, are you with us?
Good call.
Listen, we gotta put you to work. We gotta get this out of the way. Listen, because Monoxis changes his profile picture every time Kool-Aid makes gold when we put the green screen behind us. So, courtesy, if you're just joining us here at twitch.tv/Monoxis, we're not brought to you by Grippos, but goddamn, they're the best barbecue potato chips I've had this side of Mississippi.
You're right, you're right. Goodbye, chat.
All right.
And goodbye, Link. There you go.
Now you gotta eat some chips. I'm eating some chips. Come on, get to work, Monoxis. Kool-Aid has to get some footage.
Office Nike? Like your Blue Demon mask.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I mean, El Santo gets all the credit. After all, he is the first luchador. But El Blue Demon, I mean, if anybody, he's sort of like the, like, okay, Office Nike, thank you for doing your part. I would say Blue Demon is to Enkidu as El Santo is to Gilgamesh. That's Blue Demon, the secondary character. He's important. Not integral, but important. Kind of, sort of. Kind of like how Gandalf is the greatest secondary character of all time. That's just me. But thank you for coming on by. We're filming green screen footage for Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid thus ends up making OC that is worthy of being hung somewhere in a museum, and then Monoxis changes it into his profile picture.
Is that better?
We will keep this up as long as we can.
How's that?
So Office Nike, gee, these potato chips came all the way from Ohio. They're Grippos. We can't get them here. We're in Queens. This came from Ohio, Cincinnati, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Right? That's where they're made?
Maybe 1919. I remember the year. I don't remember the where.
So in chat, there's a gentleman by the name of Madman Muzan, and he sent us a review. I agreed. He didn't agree. And but like cameraman ended up challenging to a psychic wrestling match, and it was kind of fucked up because it was false count everywhere.
All right.
That's right. Like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. You are right.
I mean, here's the thing, Real Hero. Realistically, we could do that, but they'd come like old and
Kool-Aider, got your shot? All right.
They'd like be old and soggy and gross. Unless we just like, I don't know, ordered something for the other person to their address, but that's also kind of weird.
I might. I don't know. I'm not. It didn't. I had no idea it was going on until you brought it up. It wasn't something that was in the front of my mind.
Oh, is that fight tonight? I know it's happening. I just don't know when it was.
Green screen the fight.
What time is the fight? I'll consider it. It might get us pulled, but I'll consider it.
Okay.
Because we'll be blocking out like half of it. The Autobot's not going to find it, right?
So, while we're here, very quickly...
I've been in like fucking... because I always watch it totally legally. And the room that I'm in where I'm totally legally watching the fight always has like 100 people, 200 people in it.
Right.
So like, and a lot of them are streaming through like...
Discord the fight. All right, maybe.
There you go.
You're not wrong. One thing I would very much like to bring up, of all the subjects I think are multi-layered more than the rest, I would like to discuss accents, all right?
Oh, we're done with current events? You don't want to talk about the Lambda virus?
Oh, yeah, okay, fine.
What was the other one?
The Delta strain?
Delta's old news. They're on to Lambda now. And they're already talking about Lambda being old news. Like, we're 2 strains ahead of Delta, and it hasn't even been, like, months. And Delta was vaccine resistant. I'm pretty sure they said, like, the newest strain.
I live under a rock with Wi-Fi, so this is mild news to me.
That shit just doesn't, like, the vaccine does nothing to the new one.
I'm more worried right now, and where, like, if you go to a supermarket right now, you could go to, like, the paper towels or the boxes of cereal, and, like, they're smaller, and there are fewer paper towels, and, like, there's not as much cereal in the boxes there used to be. Items one by one are slowly being consolidated to mask inflation. That it's there. There's nothing you can do about it, but...
shrinkflation?
I believe that is what people like to call it. Yeah. That is yes... shrinkflation, which, like, all right, because you can't talk about something unless there's a term for it.
Waiting for that Ligma strain to hit. I don't want to burst your bubble, Kool-Aider, but it's been the Ligma strain since this shit started.
Because, like, so what ends up happening if it's, like, for, like, an alpha, beta, delta, and then eventually you get to, like, omega?
No, we get to omega, and then we just start calling it space AIDS.
Galactic AIDS?
Like, once it... Because realistically, if it reaches that... Like, if this thing just keeps going, and, like...
Why the fuck were, like, zoo animals getting vaccinated? You saw that, right?
Wait, was that a thing, too?
Yes.
Oh my god. That's real?
There were zoo animals getting vaccinated.
Okay. Because it does something to them? I don't understand. Or because they can transmit it? Like... Are we trying to mind control the tigers? What's going on?
Steak costs too damn much. Well, evidently in Texas, beef is very cheap because that is where all the cattle is in America, for the most part.
Well, it's centered around that area, yeah.
So Dare confirmed. I don't know. Dare, are you in Tejas?
If it costs too damn much, probably not.
You're right.
Wait, wasn't there like also a thing? There was a disruption in the supply of meat for some reason.
Some sort of hacking ordeal?
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it was. All right.
There's been a couple of hacks recently.
Hey, fun fact. Hey, one of the things that happened in current events.
Danger. They're never going to realize it's pointless. They believe in Dr. Fauci.
You are in Tejas, Dare, and beef is expensive in Tejas.
I guess it was cheaper before, and now it's expensive even by their standards.
Even by Texas's standards.
Unless we're wrong.
All right, so Dare, even by Texas's standards, because, like, beef is bountiful and plentiful in fucking Tejas, all right, is beef too damn expensive? Well, you said steak. All right, and we're going to have...
you know what? What kind of steak?
All right. Dare, you got to let us know.
Also confirm, are we stupid schmucks from the upper side of the East Coast and like steak was never cheap over there and we're just dumb and we have that dumb idea for no reason?
I mean, I'm only looking at it by, like, we don't have cows here. You have 1 million cows there.
Yeah, but, like, we don't know if it's cheap there.
I got lucky as shit and get 3 for $30, but they're small. Ah, okay. But
also, what's up, Crucial Pain? Monoxus looks like he yells at his wife in flip-flops at Walmart.
Yo, why you gotta be spying on Monoxus when he, like, rotates his hose and he auditions them in random, like, public settings?
A, I'm not married. B, I only wear flip-flops to the beach. I guess technically the saunas because I don't trust their floors. And C, I don't shop at Walmart, I guess.
You don't... Why you gotta be like that?
Because I don't. Where the fuck are you gonna find a Walmart around here?
He auditioned 3 women in a Walmart. He didn't take any of them. Swampy Wilkinson goes, so wait, the guy that I paid $200 for the new strain vaccine was bullshitting me? After I took the shot, the world looked like King of the Hill Season 1 for 12 hours.
You got lucky. That's a good side effect where I come from.
Dude, like, does he have any more? That sounds... Ooh, you could get... Alright, so Dare eking...
Isn't raw milk illegal here?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Dare.
So weird.
So, from a Texan... Is beef
expensive?
You mean that not wine?
Yeah, the not wine.
It's just
hand me the fermented juice.
Well, listen, Dare, can you confirm that like you got Jesus involved in this stream and then he gave us like water? It did sound like, you see? Listen, Danger, I can neither confirm nor deny these allegations, but before I forget,
Lev from BTR gets raw milk. And he's close to us? I guess.
Wait, yeah,
where's Lev from?
He's Russian. He lives in Hell's Kitchen.
Oh, so he's around here. I didn't know that. I mean, we saw him at the party, but I didn't know he was from New York or not.
He's former Soviet Union, I believe. Da, na, 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 na. No, but he's a good dude. He's got like the slickest like leather jacket I've seen in a long time.
I'm sure you can get it shipped.
He's got that like Kyo Kusangi from fucking King of Fighters leather jacket. It's kind of dope.
You reminded me. In 2 days, I gotta buy a new jacket.
Why?
Because I'm not gonna.
Because like you're super swole?
No, because there's a jacket.
You're even more swole than usual.
There's a jacket coming out.
He just like after like he fucking beats women to sleep
there's
in
a
bed.
Jacket coming
he fucking
out.
uses their like flaccid corpse to do squats.
There's a jacket coming out at midnight on the 12th. It is a custom-made jacket from a series that I like, and there's only 300 being made, and it's being made by an Italian designer, and I want to get my hands on one. So I gotta be up at like fucking midnight to buy the jacket.
Really?
Yeah.
You want it that bad?
Yes.
What does it look like?
It's a replica made by an Italian designer of genuine leather of a jacket that I really want.
That doesn't. What does it look? Can you show me a picture? I want to know what the fuck. I'm just curious because
I'm not letting anybody know it exists because
I understand if it's like
then they might buy it.
I understand if it's like okay, even if Swampy Wilkinson buys 12 just to spite you. The point is the only time I've ever been that excited for shit being released on no notice is like concert tickets. You know, like when something goes on sale. Like I too would like to see Cannibal Corpse perform live in Brooklyn. Madman Muzan redeemed rock, paper, scissors 1 round. All right. So, very quickly before we get to El Primo's request.
All right. So it's this jacket, but again, genuine leather made by a designer in Italy.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Okay. For people, it is the jacket from.
Don't tell them.
All right, fine.
Then they'll look it up, and then I'll have more competition. There's only 300 being made.
Okay.
All right.
Don't yell at me.
Rock, paper, scissors, 1 time.
All right. Okay.
Ready? Got him.
Damn it! I was hoping for resolve. All right. Kool-Aider, you keeping count?
But I'll let you know if I get one of them. Because, again, limited release.
Kool-Aider, what's the record? What's the record? Are you keeping count? Come on, Kool-Aider.
I don't want to knock off. I want the genuine, fucking imported Italian version of the jacket.
Jacket from Drive, Monoxis' Ryan Gosling.
I would wear this fucking Scorpion jacket too, but there's only like the only replicas are like privately made. There's no like genuine replica, at least not that I found. But that's a dope ass jacket too. The Scorpion coat.
Yeah, it would look super sleek on you on black pants.
Fun fact: that jacket was custom made on set.
Really?
If I remember correctly, they made that on set.
But Italian fashion is my Chinese sweatshops in China. In Italy, I mean, is made by. All right, a real hero. Why you got to throw them chinks under the bus?
Right.
Them greasy slopes.
We're talking about Italian.
All we need now is for Atmos to be like, "Fuck off, we're full."
You're talking about that mass-produced Italian goods. I'm talking about a designer privately making a limited series, and it's going to cost me a lot of money, but I want it. In fact, it's going to be one of the more expensive things I bought in my life for a single unit of clothing. It might be the most expensive piece of clothing I've ever bought.
Oh no, there are chips on the floor.
Of course there are chips on the floor. There are chips everywhere.
All right, ladies and jerks, I'm still here.
Watch
Don't
your
mind
face,
me.
that's all, because if you lean forward, you're going to be in view. Oh, look, now they can see the cans jostle when the train runs by. What are you doing? You're just going to fuck the camera up. That's what you're going to do. Anyway. Yeah, has there anything else that happened recently that you want to bring up? Because I can't really think of a lot of interesting current events lately. I mean, unless we want to talk about all those fucking hacks, because like they've been non-stop.
All right. Well, okay. And about that hack, real quickly.
I think Biden also like tried to be like, "Yo, Putin, stop."
Very quickly about those hacks. Okay. There was remember when there was that hack and there was a ransom and it was to be paid in Bitcoin and they got away with it for a while and then eventually like I believe it was the Federal Security Exchange Commission or was it the IRS? But some government like branch here in the US was like, okay, we took a look at the main master ledger for Bitcoin because all cryptos have a ledger, like buying and selling and accounts made and whatever. And so they just went to the addresses, like, what's that? And they were like, no, like, we're the government. You have to tell us who this is. And they're like, okay, it's this. And then from that point forward, they were like, all Bitcoin transactions that are worth $10,000 or more have to be reported to the IRS. The Department of the Treasury, that's what it is. The Department of the Treasury.
So are you saying that they figured out who was behind that hack?
By the master ledger. Even though, like, Bitcoin was supposed to be this anonymous, like, you know what I mean?
Guess not. So, I mean, but if you're keeping a ledger of all that stuff, then, like, yeah, obviously it's not fucking anonymous.
But then that raises the question, what were they doing in the early 2010s when Bitcoin got really popular because it was being used on the darknet, where you could buy drugs and get people whacked and buy like monarch programmed MK Ultra sex slaves, and like you could buy that on the darknet with Bitcoin. So like if they have the master ledger, then couldn't they, like, why were they sleeping on it? You know, I mean, when did they have it? That's what I want to know.
That's a good point. When was the ledger made? Like, when did they start keeping one? Because you never know, might not have existed early on. You know what I mean? Because it was more of like an agreed upon, like the value is this, and we're just all going to agree it exists at this value, and if I give you this, you give me the thing, right? That's what we're going to agree on. So it wasn't really much of now everyone can get fucking Bitcoin. Like everyone can get Bitcoin, so it's more of an actual. I don't know. I
believe the government of Venezuela is going to be like giving Bitcoin to its populace, which is like, why would you give that to a starving third world riot 24/7 PvP server? Like,
that doesn't make any sense.
Look it up on your phone. Venezuela Bitcoin. I swear to dude, it's ridiculous.
Yep, that's why guys are using Monero now. Yeah, good point there. But like, could they hypothetically use Bitcoin to sort of reset all of their financial woes and be like, we're Bitcoin based now?
Right, but maybe. Kind of like when
depends on how much Bitcoin they're holding on to. You know what I mean? Because it's got a pretty decent value.
Kind of like when they first called it COVID, and then the kill count was going so high, they were going like, it's a coronavirus, and they just acted like that former kill count. So they're just rebranding. They're like, oh, all that starvation and inflation.
Well, it's more like
got Bitcoin now.
It's more like really meaning says I thought that was Salvador. But like,
okay, good looks, homie. All right, it was a Latin American country. Squeeze me.
Either way, like, what the fuck is the point? Unless they're just sitting on it and they're gonna just give it away to be like, shut the fuck up, take the money and spend it. Like, convert this into whatever, you know.
Imagine the dudes in suits going to like the El Salvadorian countryside and trying to explain to like some fucking goat farmer, like, all right, like, this is Bitcoin, and he's like, no me entiendo qué es eso, and it's like, eso es dinero que usted usa en una manera electrónica, and he's like, no me entiendo, because he doesn't even have a fucking, in fact, like, he's never seen a computer.
Yeah.
He's a fucking goat farmer in El Salvador. Like, he doesn't.
Yeah. No.
He doesn't give a shit about your woes of sitting in a lobby for like fucking fucking first person shooters. He has no relation to that.
It says El Salvador said that it was legal tender, and if you spend 3 Bitcoin in El Salvador, you can get citizenship. It's to streamline trafficking. Almost the entire population is in a gang laundering heaven now. The problem is The problem with using any foreign currency depending on separate factors, no control of inflation. Yeah. I mean, I like that. Interesting that spending 3 Bitcoin can get you citizenship. That's fucking weird.
Spending 3 Bitcoin in Venezuela? What do you mean by that?
In El Salvador.
Okay, my bad. El Salvador. All right.
I don't know. I do think interesting though that it's to streamline trafficking. Like, okay.
Isn't El Salvador the origins of the people in the MS-13 street gang?
I mean, that was kind of mentioned. The entire population is in a gang.
Listen.
No, 3 Bitcoin is not a mill. Bitcoin farmers wish.
No, but in all of this talk of crypto, though,
didn't it kind of crash a while back?
All of fucking crypto crashed, and yeah, there have been a couple of spikes.
Everything went down, but Bitcoin suffered significantly.
So did Ethereum. That was a fucking painful thing to watch.
Yeah, but this is one of those things they're gonna recover for the most part. Bitcoin maybe it won't. Bitcoin's one of those ones where it's it rode its high for a long time, and it's become so commonplace now that no one wants to fucking buy into it. And the more information that comes out, I can't imagine someone who was initially getting into Bitcoin because they wanted the the anonymity of it.
Yo,
why would you buy it now?
And imagine all those jerks and all those institutions that bought Bitcoin at 30, 40,000. Bro, what made Bitcoin kind of ridiculous, and I know it's kind of fucking cliche to discuss Bitcoin at this point, but there are 2 things I'd like to talk about Bitcoin. Number 1, all right? Oh, Kool-Aider, you've done it again! Someone stop this guy!
It's pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, that's better. Yo, why didn't you fix your profile picture? What's going on with that?
What are you talking about? I just looked at it.
I'm looking at your profile. I don't see it. What's going on?
I'm well aware that you are.
Kool-Aider, you got to declare jihad on Monoxus. What's going on?
There, are you happy?
I'm trying.
It's done. Danger says, I hope Bitcoin crashes and it gets used like an actual currency as intended.
Yes. Thank you.
Personally, don't care about Bitcoin. Don't have any money in Bitcoin. Not interested.
So I have 0 in Bitcoin, but this is why Bitcoin is important. All right.
It's the standard by which all the other ones grew on, and if Bitcoin fails, it shows that there's a weakness in crypto in general.
Kinda, sorta, yes, because Bitcoin was the first crypto, and it had earlier. No one wants to talk about this, even though it was the very recent past, that Bitcoin at one point was moving across the board like oil and gold and soybean futures and all these things on the market.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous how it took financial institutions like Goldman Sachs and Barclays to finally wise up to this crypto thing, even though there were people who were making ridiculous moves prior to that.
Yeah.
All right. So Bitcoin.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. The financial world had this almost like it's a meme currency, and that's why they didn't believe in it.
Right.
Even though it was very clearly trading for high value, they were kind of this is never going to make it on a larger scale. Even though that shit was worth a lot a long time ago, it's worth even more now. A single Bitcoin being worth 30 grand, that's still worth a lot of fucking money.
You're not wrong.
For some people, that's a fucking year's wages. Let's be honest. Here, anyway. For some people, a Bitcoin can buy them a whole new life.
I mean, well, but number 2, all right? Number two, numero dos. So, Bitcoin ends up becoming the lens through which financial institutions end up viewing. Okay, now granted, I'm certain there are banks who have at least one crypto guy that part of the reason he got the job is because he's making crypto on the side when he's not on the clock because he has access. Because how do you even fucking check for that? You know?
Yeah.
There is no SEC, FEC. There's no fucking other than Bitcoin transactions more than 10,000. The fucking Department of the Treasury has nothing on crypto. It's kind of redonkulous, and Bitcoin is the lens they view that through. Hence the 10,000. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's I've always imagined once they got keen to it, before the 10,000 like limit thing. Imagine how many people who had money to throw away, because let's not forget, like the whole point was like an anonymous exchange. Why would they not regulate it? Because they were using it to do some shady shit.
The darknet, of all places, too.
And not just like the fucking people who came up with the concept and the people who were taking advantage for like insidious things. There were definitely government officials who were like, we don't get this whole Bitcoin thing. It's a meme. Don't pay attention to it. Bitcoin's not worth looking into. Meanwhile, it's like, all right, now convert that like 21 million that I own that dude for all those kids I bought into Bitcoin and send it to him. Make that shit disappear.
Right.
Untraceable.
So how far back does the Grand Ledger go?
Yeah. The Rippos are going. Madman moves on. Crucial Pains has taken my 3 El Salvador Bitcoin living in Mississippi for the next 40 years. I mean, maybe not 40 years, but you'll definitely get a couple of years out of 3 Bitcoins in Mississippi. If you're like living, you know, modestly and not like.
All right.
Being
Now, Crucial Pain. If you really want to milk it, I believe your 3 Bitcoin in Mississippi would be worth like 5 Bitcoin in Missouri. Like, if you want to go like live cheap and buy yourself in a swamp and hunt duck, go to Missouri.
You take that 3 Bitcoin, and then you convert it into U.S. dongs, and you spend those U.S. dongs in Jamaica. And you turn your like 3 to 4 years in either one of the places mentioned into like 9 or 10 years in Jamaica. Or you go to Brazil, and you turn that shit into like 15 years.
But evidently, it all starts with El Salvador. And it's worth 3 Bitcoin in El Salvador.
You buy a plot of land somewhere where there is still a natural environment, and I can't tell you where that exists because I'm not sure. And you get a hunting license, and you like spend some of that money getting irrigation settled up and learn to farm.
You could do that in Missouri.
And you live the rest of your life off the land. On the land you bought, in the cabin you built, off the farms you like grow, and the presumably farm animals you tend to and raise and slaughter.
While you can't fully automate it like fucking Don't Starve.
But then you give up on having like other things. Your life is living off the land now.
Then you're not checking. You are not always on your damn phone.
Yeah.
So, despite that crushing reality of not always being on your damn phone, you too can accomplish things that are beyond and above that which you set your mind to. Grippos lets Madman Muzan lay at the end of the conveyor belt with his mouth open. That's the kind of clout he has.
I like what Danger said, though, here. Imagine if the government owns a log of all the high-value trades, then fucking hides it from us. Now that there is an actual ledger, and God knows when that... Because that could have been there from the first fucking day. Like, that could have been there from the inception of this shit, and no one knew about it. And everything could be tracked. For all we know.
So when did the government get their hands on this thing?
That's the question. When did the fucking ledger actually come into existence, or was it there from the beginning? And now the government has access to it, because like $10,000 is pretty high up there. There's a lot of shit you can buy for less than 10 G's. Like you want an illegal firearm with Bitcoin, you don't need 10 G's. You need significantly less. A human being does not go for $10,000 in most places.
No, it depends.
Depends on where you are, but you can buy a human for less than $10,000.
You too can buy an African slave in Libya for $200 American, give or take market value fluctuation.
So a lot of shit can still go under the 10,000 radar.
There's a slave trade going on in Libya right now.
In fact, that 10,000 basically just stops people from using leverage against them and then asking for Bitcoin. That's all it does.
But what's not stopping you from just making $9,999 transfers like on Bitcoin?
But that's what I mean. Like, all it does is stop someone from being like, I want $1 million and I want it in Bitcoin. And then it's like, you fucking dummy. You know what I mean? Like, that's all it does.
Oh, no.
It's stopping that kind of shit. And even 10,000 is not a fucking lot. But now you can't... The
Grippos have got me!
You can't hold me for ransom for something and then fucking force me to convert my US dollars into Bitcoin anymore. It's more like a nuisance than anything else. And they're just like, stop asking for Bitcoin when you hold us for ransom. Just fucking take the US dollar. We can print that. Bitcoin's annoying to get.
Please take this sweet American cash we've provided for you in these brown paper bags.
We want to use our Bitcoin for illegal things. Stop taking it from us.
There goes. There's a dude on Twitter called Zanikin or something like that, who has a thread where he tracks black market gun values that you might find interesting. Like there's a dude in Denmark trying to sell an Uzi for 3,000 And you see, among Europeans, you mean like, oh no, but here lies the problem. Among Europors, all right, they got to deal with that. You too, if you have an in, because we're not recommending you do this by yourself, you too can buy a gun in the hood, all right? And
hold on. Here's the thing, though.
And it could range you anywhere from like, $480 or like upwards to how many are you buying? I've been told.
I wanted to get an exact trend,
according to someone who knows, according to
$3,000
someone else. Just go to the hood, poor Europors. But then again,
that's what I was gonna say. It's like $3,000 into US dollars based on current values.
Some jerk off drove that across state lines multiple times from the Midwest to get that up to the East Coast to where the fuck I'm at.
You can probably get
an Uzi for 3,000 euros. Come on, that's a little.
You can probably get an Uzi here somewhere. I know I can get handguns for like $600-700. And that's like unmarked nonsense. But like an Uzi, probably like double that, which is half as much as what they're asking for.
Why do people in the South Bronx have AKs?
Obama? Right? He was the one that let all that shit go? It was him, right? I'm pretty sure it was him.
ISIS had auto Glocks, but we don't. Thanks, Obama.
But he's the one that was just letting that shit fly. No, there was no gun control at the time. I mean, there's not more gun control now, but it definitely wasn't good then.
No one, that is kind of weird though, how he's been sort of canonized as a saint, even though everything went wrong, on his watch.
I mean, here's the thing: if you're gonna buy a gun from the hood, just make sure that you know the person you're selling it to. You're not just buying from some random hood rat.
Never buy a revolver with a Mexican name. You could quote that to dare. All right.
The guy that was trying to sell it to me, I knew him. He was a good dude. And he legit was no, I got homies who can get them because they bring them in over the border because he was from over the border. Mm-hmm. And he was they get them from suppliers from here. So the guns get sent over the border and then get brought back over here and sold for a markup back home. And he was and it's more efficient, it's faster, and there's no tracing of it.
And that fuels this side of the parallel economy.
But I have a direct one-to-one with someone who was no, my family's over the border, and they buy guns illegally through your country, and then sell it back to you guys for more money.
By the way, very sorry about
coastal cities because it's where it's hard to get them. He was their biggest sales are in New York and California.
Well, they're blue states with strict gun control laws. Mm-hmm. That's one of the reasons why. Ladies and jerks, if you're just tuning in, where's the box?
You had it. Why would I have the box?
Oh, it's right here. All right.
Make sure you turn it the right way.
This is brought to you by Grippos. You see, Madman Muzan sent us...
The stream is not brought to you by Grippos. We're not sponsored. The chips we're eating is brought to you by Grippos.
Madman Muzan sent us 1.5 pounds of these things. So, as opposed to the usual death threats and ransom letters and,
Yo, speaking of Grippos...
dead animals and, weird Polaroid photographs of things we have no context for... If you'd like to send us sweet, delicious chocolates and things that are not death threats, we could figure something out. El Primo stepped up to the plate. Out of nowhere, like a thief in the night in broad fucking daylight at 1 p.m. when the sun is 8 inches away from your fucking face. He was just all Grippos, and it was show. And then that happened.
And they're pretty fucking good. Anyway. You got chips everywhere.
Yeah, hold on. Let me clean
they're in your mask, they're in your hair.
Hold on, let me fix my shit. Give me a second.
Yo, we're getting to that point where it's basically just the crushed chips and powder. And it's just getting everywhere. There's nothing you can do. There's chips all over the fucking place.
Oh God, I hope they're out of my beard. What luck! There is a preserved chip in my beard.
Well, your mask protects the beard. I was gonna say though, I don't think I got nothing else current events wise. All I can do is make fun of this stupid virus shit. To be honest, at this point, I'm so tired of it.
Well,
I've started going into places without my mask on because they got rid of the mask mandates, and I watch people stare at me. It's hilarious.
Really?
They're so scared. Like, people walk around me.
I've been running without a mask, and people, like, some people avoid you like the plague, and some people don't give a shit.
I went to, like, Target the other day, and I was just walking around without a mask.
Really?
Yeah.
But there's no mask sign in the front, right?
They're like, masks are encouraged.
Oh.
They are no longer enforced.
They are encouraged, you say?
Yes, encouraged.
Well, one thing I would like to discuss.
How much is a pound and a half? I don't know. How much is this?
You're going to have to help us out, El Primo.
Like, you're going to have to eyeball it. We've been eating them this whole time.
Now, listen. These are ridiculous because it even owes up on the side of the box where it goes ingredients. Potatoes, spices, salt, oil. But is it spices or spice? Hang on, let's find out.
I think it's just spices.
Spice.
I'll just say spice.
So, I'm pretty sure you can see it here. There you go. Potatoes, spice, salt, and oil. All right. And they have the consistency of kettle chips. I don't know if you've had those, chat, but that's what it feels like. They were like fried in a specific manner, not in like a Wise potato chip or a Pringle sort of way.
The only place I haven't been doing the whole like not wearing my mask thing is on the bus, because that just feels like straight up like spitting in people's face. Because like the bus driver can technically, because like the buses still say like mask required, and I see motherfuckers getting on the bus and just be like, I don't give a shit.
Right.
But I'm like, it still says it, and technically those bus drivers can be like, no mask, get off. So I'm always just like, all right, put it on. You know what I mean? Because I'm not trying to like get.
And the train.
But there's no one on the train. You like get off the train.
Right. There's no one.
Like you just walk into the platform unless like a fucking like the MTA doesn't give a shit. Cops are on the platform without their masks on, just fucking hanging out. It's like, wait, you're gonna tell me to leave and not them?
I like how when masks were required, you would see things like cops showing up to like 7-Eleven.
There's a bot.
Uh-oh. Someone banned that bot.
And banned.
Thank you, El Primo and Dare. I remember when masks were required, you would go to places like bodegas and 7-Elevens and places like that, and cops without masks would just show up and get their things, and like we're all standing here like jerk-offs, like with this on, and you.
I mean, I had a fucking local spot. I was just like, I don't give a shit. Like I knew the guy, and he just, if I walked in with the mask, he was like, I don't care. It was a spot like where you're not familiar, but then again, like the whole idea was like, why are you at a deli in the middle of the pandemic? You're not supposed to be outside.
Can I trouble you for some water?
No.
Please?
You're out of water. That's it. You're done with water for today.
Please. What if someone asks us to hydrate?
Then you shouldn't be drinking all the water.
Then
I'm not going to keep giving you water if you're going to keep drinking all of it.
What? How dare you drink the water you ask for? You're just supposed to let it sit there and have it manifest energy.
Until someone hits the hydrate button, you can't drink.
All right. Okay. Fine. We'll just do this. A sip, and then we'll abide by your fucked up draconian rules.
That's not the rule, but I'm gonna make it a thing, just for the sake of the joke.
This guy being an extra big jerk. All right. So.
I'm gonna drink my water though.
I mean, listen. Not to.
What you gotta do is get a bigger water container.
We're not a big enough street that they'll care, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. So. Kool-Aider.
They let fucking like girls fart into the microphone, and they don't.
Kool-Aider, come on, you got to do the line.
They don't think that's fucking crude, or like fuck them. Twitch wants to act like they're these fucking high, no smoke and drink and talk bad on stream, but bitches can like shake their titties and fart in microphones and lick your fucking like inner ear with a little fuck out of here.
So, real quickly, thank you, Kool-Aider.
I don't mind banning degeneracy, but you gotta ban all the degeneracy. You know what I mean? Like you're either a family-friendly platform or you're fucking not, and just don't try.
Kool-Aider, I really appreciate that. So real quickly about accents, one thing I would like to point out is how, to a certain degree, not having an accent is a reoccurring characteristic that you tend to see within the rootless cosmopolitans that gentrified cities across the United States. And I'd like to believe cities across the West.
Counterpoint. New York has an accent.
It does. Right, but here is the deal. Accents are one of the last remaining pieces of American identity, because there are not, among the Midwest there are accents, but then there's like Minnesota accent, Ohio accent. And then, bless you, and as El Primo can confirm, there are various kinds of Ohio accents. All right? So, the rootless cosmopolitans that are gentrifying a city near you or the one you live in, they tend to have no accent. All right? That's one thing I wanted to bring up about accents. They are one of the last enduring, remaining pieces of American
when you
identity.
say they have no accent, like, almost everywhere has an accent. Mm-hmm. So they gotta be coming from somewhere. What you're saying is they don't have a distinguished accent, yeah?
Yes.
Because a lot of the time, the ones that I've met, and maybe I'm just, like, hearing, like, maybe it's a bunch of different things blurring together, but the people I've met, like, in Williamsburg, because I've gone there in the past a few times and met people who weren't from here, who now live there, they have, like, West Coast accents. Which, in some parts of the West Coast, it can be very similar to the New York accent.
It kind of, sort of.
You can still hear the difference, but it's similar. I've heard people hear me talk and be like, "Are you from here?" Because like they're like, "You kind of sound like you're from the West Coast." Like there's a similarity between certain spots. I don't have like California surfer accent.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like I don't know what I sound like in the West Coast, but I've had someone be like, "You sound like someone from California," and I'm like, "Great, I don't know what that means." So apparently there is a similarity.
You see, that means there's got to be like a San Diego sex man, or like a Los Angeles sex man, or maybe there's like a San Francisco sex man, or there's like a Eureka sex man.
Like I could totally see Los Angeles having because Los Angeles is kind of like a fucking shithole city too.
And Queen sex man now has his fucking like he has to face like Los Angeles sex man in the fucking 1v1 cage match diplomacy.
I mean, like
there can only be one.
They're a shithole city as well.
You think there are people at levels in Rogue in fucking Minnesota? No, there are not.
There are people like in a hurry. They're like fighting with each other. They don't give a fuck. I'm sure like the mentality also helps dictate how the words come out.
Right.
Like the environment builds the accent. So I'm sure like LA people sound a lot like New York people.
Well,
at least street level LA.
I would like to imagine that like most urban centers have a general get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
Feel to it.
And then sometimes you get that person who's very clearly from like Texas, and you're like, oh, you're from the South. That happens too.
But then, even among the South, there are people in Alabama don't sound like people from Georgia.
No, yeah.
And even if you want to break it down, like people from North Louisiana sound nothing like the Cajun South Louisiana, where it's like, demonstrate, and it's like crazy, like 18th century, like 19th century, like white houses with the foliage on top, and there are these like none of them speak English except one person in the house. Like that's in southern Louisiana, and that's not even fucking American English. That's just like the French hybrid Cajun, platonically coexisting old blood family, that exists.
It just gets passed down in the area.
There was a King of the Hill episode about that, as a matter of fact, where like it turns out like Bill was
it's the same thing as that Boomhauer type shit. Like, I know it's technically English, but like motherfuckers speak like that. It's like, how do you understand each other? You're not using like whole words,
right?
You're speaking in half words fast enough that it's like, oh, they got what you said.
Everyone gets almost everyone gets what he says.
It's like speaking in fucking shorthand, though. You know what I mean? Like you're constantly cutting yourself off, but like you still get the fucking point across.
Boomhauer speaks and thieves can't.
That's a thing too. I would consider that an accent.
All right, you're not wrong.
We have a couple here.
So, I believe that pretty much sums up what I wanted to say about accents. That there is now granted, like nothing exists in a vacuum, and sure, the people do move from one city to another city, and they retain where it is they came from. But sure, but there is a class of rootless cosmopolitans that seem to show up in every city, and I don't know if it's like a deliberate hiding away so you're not found out that you come from money, or if it's this low-key psyop where they're people who come from money are now taught before they leave the home, like, you're gonna get jacked if people find out how much money your mother and I make. Like, I don't know what's going on out there. But they exist in every city, and they are a rootless cosmopolitans with no accents. I have no other way to describe them.
So what bothers you more? The lacking in accent folk who are dominating entire neighborhoods, or the entire neighborhoods being dominated by people with incredibly thick accents who very clearly do not speak the language?
Believe them. Just that's you can't. Well, are you going to breed them out of America?
I'm just saying, like, would you prefer those who can hide themselves among the population, and the only giveaway is like mannerism, or those who completely disregard the entire population around them and then take over the area through like communication and like I guess supremacy of like buying out the area? Like consider an area where they only speak.
Or like BlackRock is just buying up every home on the block because they can and they will. Crucial Pain goes, I got family from down there. I gave up trying to understand them. All right.
Like, which one would bother you more?
The big capital would bother me much more.
Okay.
Like,
this is also presuming that you can't understand them. So, like, all right, let's say this, right?
All right. Where are they?
I'm gonna pick a neighborhood, okay? Chinatown in Manhattan, all right, which has predominantly been Chinese, but they integrate enough that like you and I can go to Chinatown and still engage in activities there, right? Prices go up, people start leaving, and two groups swoop in to take over Chinatown. And you have these wealthy, questionably white folk who want to buy the area and turn it into like, I don't know, what Midtown has become. Right. So they're like, fuck Chinatown, like, it's going to stay Chinatown, but only in like appearance, you know what I mean? Like the food's going to change, the drinks are going to change, it's still going to be like Chinese restaurants, but it's going to be like maintained by those people. So it's like whitewashed Chinatown, right?
All right.
Or entirely...
Which is kind of sort of Prince Street, really.
Kind of. Or entirely bought out by Chinese natives who barely speak English, and when you walk in, they don't help you. Because they don't understand you, and you can't understand them, and they're just like, get out. Or you go to walk in the neighborhood, and now you're getting, like, grilled, and it's just like, why are you here? Like, not integrated, just like, this is our neighborhood now.
Oh. No, I would be a little more worried about the Chinese. Damn it, Monoxus, why you gotta be like that?
I mean, because, and like, granted, I took China, but like, switch China out for any ethnic group, because it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Like, think about all those city blocks that are owned by, like, people who are, like, of the Jewish faith, who, like, the Hasidic Jews who just, like, don't come in their fucking neighborhood. They're a little more open to people in some spots, but, like, they'll straight up be like, no, like, get the fuck out.
They have their own, like, civil police?
Yeah, get the fuck out. You know.
In New York City, which is, like, the bizarre thing.
So, it could be worse. Just, you know, but, you know, that's just so accents, right? You want the ones without accents or the ones with?
Heischel, the man in the mask, he won't stop talking.
Hopefully we continue to have what we've almost always had, is neighborhoods that develop and work with everyone. Main Street's a good example of, like, you go this many blocks and it's like the Chinese area, and then a few blocks up and it's like, oh, this is like Little Korea over here. You go a few blocks over and it's like, oh, this is like the Japanese district. You keep going, now it's Greek. And you go even further up, and you should probably stop going up, because you're going to get to, like...
The hood.
Well, not the hood, but, like... Yeah, there's nothing up there. You go far enough into Bayside, and it's like, great, there's nothing here anymore. There's nothing to do.
You're not wrong. Stand outside the Yerevan 7th and tempt them with the cool... used to be... Oh, Kool-Aider. Kool-Aider. Have you ever seen this movie called Once Upon a Time in America? It was a movie by Sergio Leone, and it stars Robert De Niro, but he plays like a Jewish gangster, not an Italian gangster. And Joe Pesci's in it for like 5 minutes. It's a great movie. The cut I saw was on Flixtor, and it was like almost 4 fucking hours. And I know like the theatrical release was like an hour and a half. But no, 2.5 hours. The theatrical release was 2.5 hours. But like the uncut directors, I needed a fucking intermission. It was a great movie though. Kool-Aider, have you seen that movie? Yes. You see? Almost 4 fucking hours.
Jeez. I haven't sat down to watch a movie in a hot minute. I'm watching nothing but TV shows and fucking like YouTube videos when I have time.
I have to say this. I hate to say this, but like, there's a lot of rape scenes in that movie.
How old is it?
It was like made in 1984.
That checks out though. What? That does. Like what? The fucking. Well, when did they start being like, yo, stop? They were like, stop sexualizing and raping people. Like, stop raping people in like films because like it's offensive and it shouldn't be there. But around the same time, they were like, but also sexualize like people. You know what I mean? Like, let's have gratuitous, unnecessary, consensual sex scenes.
Right.
In lieu of the quick, violent, but like very emotionally like receptive rape scenes, where it's like, damn, that's fucked up. Versus like, now watch them fuck, but not actually fuck because it's not a porn for 10 minutes.
With lurid camera angles.
Yeah, and lighting that doesn't exist, and people reacting in ways that doesn't. No. But yeah, there was a shift to that because they want to like sensationalize sex. But you know, it's only a matter of time before porn has to downgrade their being sensationalized, so they can meet in the middle and be like, stop selling fake sex.
I'm just amazed how something that's so readily available doesn't cost a thing. What? And then porn, and then imagine the people who pay for it.
Because of the trafficking, they get hits. You know what I'm saying? That's why. Also, it's very easy to produce. Like, I mean, people don't want to talk about that, but it's incredibly easy to be like, you're hot, camera, fuck, go, come on, sell it a little bit more, Did we get like 20, 30 minutes of them fucking? Alright, dude, go fucking like jerk it in the corner till you're ready to come, you get on your knees, that's it. Done deal. Shot's over. Everyone's made a couple hundred, maybe thousands, depending on if they're good or not.
This guy sounds like he's experienced.
Do you know how fucking long it takes to shoot like television shows and movies and coordinate and get that shit together? Yo, put them in a fucking room and take their clothes off. Now bang and make it look good. You don't even have to enjoy it. You just make it look good.
Queen Sex Man can help your business.
Porn is not hard to make. Oh, there's so much of it. That's why every fucking like thought and e-boy that can sell their body now is doing it because it's so easy to produce. You spend fucking especially if you have like a partner in crime, like let's say you're like privately doing that shit, like you're some OnlyFans couple, whatever. You could probably sit down on a Monday and be like, all right, so like first we're gonna sit down for like 45 minutes and you're gonna do this to me, right? And money shot, great. I'm gonna take fucking 10, get like a coffee, have like some food. We're gonna chill for a second so I can recover. And another 45 minutes. This. Then we're gonna take some pictures, and then like 6 hours of work.
Do it again.
Like 6 hours of work, and you've covered yourself for months because people pay money for shit like that. It's so easy.
A return to the downgrade of porn, you say?
To meet in the middle because you can only be like stop sensational like. Stop with like they were like don't do rape scenes and like because they're offensive and aggressive, but then there's also like the porn world where it's like now choke her and spit in her mouth and like punch her in the face. So there's gonna be a point where like that sentiment is also gonna meet into the kink community. It seems like stop selling that. It's only a matter of time. Like once it becomes more acceptable, there's also gonna like that's the same barrier for entry that eventually hits television and film and comics and video games. Like that you have to put ratings on this. Porn gets away with a lot. Because we all admit it's an adult thing and like it's not normalized. You normalize sex, you normalize porn, now you have to have a rating system.
Oh.
It's gonna happen. I mean, if they normalize it, we'll see what happens. But no one's thinking about that when they're trying to fucking normalize sex.
Queen Sex Man barred from taking place in politics and talking about socio-economic and political ordeals. You see that?
It's the same thing as when these e-thoughts got audited and we're like, what? I have to pay taxes on this? Yes. Dumbass.
So, these chips were brought to you by Grippos. These were sent by Madman Muzan. You could find him in chat, a.k.a. El Primo. Listen, I would say that these might very well be the greatest barbecue chips this side of the goddamn Mississippi.
Yeah, so.
I might.
They're in for a rude awakening when they think that they can just do this shit forever and get away with it and not have to deal with censorship law and like... It's like, all right, remember when fucking Pornhub had to, like, purge mad accounts because they were like, if we can't verify like your name, your address, your phone number, and your actual date of birth, you can't have an account. Like, it's only a matter of time before OnlyFans gets hit with the same thing. And in order to enter the industry, you have to put your name in a database and be on a record and be, like, properly entered. And when you get to the fucking set, they're going to sit you down and be like, okay, can we see your papers? All right, fantastic. So this is your partner. You're going to be working with him today, or you guys are in this kind of scene, and you go over it, and there's a script, and you fucking bang, and you get separated. Like, okay, here's your money for the day. Go get yourself cleaned up. All right, we'll see you next week. Like, and it's no longer like having fun. It's like you have to come here, and like there's a guy on the set who's gonna be like, before you go home, they gotta do this like quick rapid test to make sure like you're not oozing anything.
Right.
Because like you think you can just do this shit and it's fun. Like no, there's like government regulation.
However, it is kind of sad how like women turning 18 and then making an OnlyFans, like that's still a thing.
Yeah, but it's a matter of time before there are a board of people. Like, there's gonna be a dude at fucking, like, your dumbass shoots for things, or they're gonna be like, someone has to regulate your shots. Like, the same way when someone shoots a movie or a TV show, there's a governing body that has to show up and make sure things are safe. Like, an actor can't help the maintenance team set up in fear of them getting hurt for liability reasons. Imagine when this Ethot, who used to take pictures of herself in her bedroom, is told that, like, you cannot post those because they're in a private environment. You have to come to, like, a set.
Oh.
Because this is regulated now, and you're considered, like, an artist and a performer, like you wanted to be. No, like, you're an artist now. You're a performer. There's liability. You signed a contract. You have to be around people. You have to make sure you're safe. Someone has to check you.
Wait, if she's a performer, is she in, like, the artists' performer union now?
Whatever, yeah, exactly. See what I mean? You're getting taxed now,
like SAG, like the actors' union.
It's
like
a matter of like you want to break into the world of normalizing it. It's only a matter of time before not anytime soon, but you know. So you take advantage while you can. Similar to how like cryptocurrencies. Get in while they're not regulated.
They have a 5-year window before it is.
Get in before it's too late. Much like Ethot's like make your money before someone is like, hey. Whose dick is that you're sucking? I need their ID too.
Was this consensual?
Yeah, you see what I mean? Like you have to like we have to have both parties accountable. We have to have both their information. We have to have consent forms signed. You have to send the video in through a governing body who checks it and makes sure there's no like weird illicit material and there's no like background imagery that could like imply something. Right. You know what I mean? Like the same way you can't have like Nazis like imagery in the back in certain like movies when it's like about the Nazis and they'll be like, why is it in there? You know what I mean? There's censorship laws.
This is true.
Your video has to be checked. Like how YouTube doesn't let you just upload something. It's like, nope, they gotta check it. There's copyright law. You can't play that song.
We have to push it through 16 algorithms to make sure you're not doing anything we don't like.
Yes.
But with porn.
Well, it's like, yeah. Yep.
But like, I remember someone tweeted something to the effect of like, what do we do with the backlog of crimes we could now prove? Because so think of all the deleted accounts on Pornhub.
Yes.
Doesn't the Pornhub servers keep a record of like
Probably. And now there's probably there's probably a person in the government who's selling that shit.
Oh god! I have a theory. Somewhere on the back end of Twitter, there's a guy who he goes through all the deleted tweets and he finds gold and he sells them to like shitty stand-up comedians. So like there's got to be a guy somewhere in like Homeland Security going through all these like Pornhub accounts that have been purged, and he's like, yo, like I'll give this to you for 3 Bitcoin.
We confirmed she was 16 because her ID was fake. Yeah, like that kind of shit. Or like these people who save the videos that they get, like they download and save them. Someone's got a hard drive full of that shit. Things that were purged you can never find again. Either way, yeah, it's just it's a matter of time.
And now there are markets of stuff like that.
Yeah, and it'll be regulated. Which again, I'm all for people being promiscuous and openly sexual. I just hope they understand that their like sexual revolution and freedom comes with the crushing hand of what freedom means, and it means regulation and protections. Because when people are entirely free, they're reckless and stupid, and they need an authoritarian figure to make sure they're not doing something dumb. Because they won't do it themselves.
You're not... so where are you going with this?
I'm just saying, it's how grooming happens.
Ah.
People need law. Because they don't make their own. So you want to be free and sexually like explicit and open? Fantastic. You got a couple of years to take advantage of it before someone's like, and rules. You can be within the guidelines.
Imagine, like there's got to be some guy in like the NSA who's just assigned to Discord, and he's the saddest guy in the world.
Yeah, probably. He's dealing with shit. Anyway, I forget how we got here from accents, but you know, it's proposition to do some OnlyFans shit once.
If you're really,
yeah.
How'd that happen?
I just knew somebody. And they were
By the way,
"Oh, you want to do some stuff?" And I was like, "I'll think about it."
By the way, those potato chips are brought to you by Grippos. These were sent to us by Madman Muzon, a.k.a. El Primo, hailing all the way from Ohio, the wasteland of the Midwest that both coasts look down on irrationally. We don't feel that way here in 718 TV. I mean, a lot of things have came from Ohio. Mark Coleman, Busy Bones, Macho Man Randy Savage, and these potato chips.
I mean, speaking for yourself, I think they're a threat. As you've stated many a times, a lot of crazy, strong folks come out of Ohio, and it's like there's something in the water, and we're just letting it happen.
But here's...
No one's thinking about it, no one's questioning it.
Two things. Number one, Ohio State University in college football are like the greatest like villains of all time, kinda, because no one wanted them to win, and they won 1 year, but that gives them bragging rights forever. El Primo, correct me if I'm wrong. If they've won more than 1 year, I'm very sorry. But the point is, Cleveland, Ohio in general, the same way. There's something about the land that does something to the people.
Oh yeah, we're down to crumbs now, baby.
Now we're down to like the fucking like powdered oil.
There you go. Ohio State has won so many times.
Well, there you go. The point is, listen, because like they're jerks, all right? But like no one likes Ohio State except Ohio. Like everyone loves like Texas A&M,
I'm sure someone,
and like
I'm sure
everyone loves like the Alabama Tide, the Crimson Tide, blah blah blah. But like
I've met people who love all their dumbass sports teams.
But Ohio State breeds a certain kind of jerk off. Also, if Cleveland Brown fans ever unite with Boston Celtic fans, I think they can take over like 2/3 of America.
But are we gonna assume that they're as bad as their counterparts?
Oh no, they're just Cleveland Browns fans are just among like they're people you fight in side-scrolling beat-em-ups. Imagine a stadium of that.
Yeah, I guess.
So
I would have been 6 when I was born in Ohio, right? It's different there.
Something in the well water, my friend.
That's
all right,
and no one's worried about it.
We're just letting it happen, according to this guy.
We're just letting it happen.
So, we're done with accents, I believe, more or less, unless anyone in chat has something to chime in.
Unless you want to talk shit about accents. What accent annoys you the most?
Well,
the trigger warning, I guess. What foreign accent? And it could be a state accent. I'll take a state accent if it's the most annoying one.
Really?
What state accent like grinds your gears? And we're talking about like heavy accent.
I'm not even gonna pick a state. I just don't like French accents.
Same thing.
Because like French as a language is incredibly monotone, and it's not the romantic. People romanticize French and France and all of that, which like, all right, I get it. There are some parts of it that are like alluring on like an aesthetic level and a historical level, and like it is kind of funny because,
like most places there's something beautiful to it.
France is one of the few countries where like you don't tend to churn out fatties, especially in the women's department. Like France and Japan are like two of the few countries in this league.
I mean, you could put it to stereotype, but like there is an upbringing there that avoids eating certain ways and promotes physical behavior and the smoking.
Which is an excellent appetite suppressant, by the way.
It is. So is drinking.
However, what is it about like the French and the Japanese that prevent them from churning out fatties, especially in the ladies' department?
Japan is also a dietary thing and a discipline thing.
That's true.
Japan's very disciplined, like inherently disciplined from previous generations. I don't know what Japan's going to look like in 20 years because the generations that are around now are carrying on the discipline, but I don't think they're going to be teaching it to anyone with the low birth rates and all that. Plus, they're all like cuddle club, weeby, like depressed. Like I'm not saying it's the whole population.
There's a population of like a Japanese men that I don't know if they call themselves this, but they're like called herbivores. And Japanese women are they're sick and tired of these herbivore men.
But imagine what the generation's gonna look like years down the line when that is the adult population that is that are still having children.
You mean the standard?
Yeah. So the adult population is full of weebs and cuddle club people
and herbivores,
and, people who played video games and sat in their rooms instead of socializing. And then one day they meet someone and have kids, and instead of having granted, some of those habits were very detrimental because that's why the suicide rate's so high. It was too stressful, but they bounced the other way and went from everything is too stressful and super hard and everyone's gotta be on top of their shit to laxed, almost men children.
I really hope that Japan ends up exploring space so that as Gundams they have fucking neats and weeaboos and all these fucking shitty little jerks that never leave the rooms, and it's hey kid, you want to serve Japan and pilot a Gundam? I would love that.
I'll give you that. The population decline is good for that exact reason.
More land. Water. I'll be right back.
Yeah. More land, and that's gonna be fantastic for them. I'm also just being very. I'm making a lot of assumptions. But Danger, what percent of Japan is introverted? From what I understand, and granted I don't live there, a lot of them are. I don't have a percentage, but I could imagine it's going to happen here in the U.S. too, because you're seeing a boom in people who are I don't know. Well, actually, you know what? We're having a weird boom of extroverted behavior from people who are not normally extroverts, but I think that's mostly COVID related. How we're having white boy summer and hot girl summer right now because everyone got the fucking COVID chains taken off of them.
Yeah.
I don't think Japan's gonna. What?
The Jesus juice.
What do you mean? There's no Jesus juice.
Oh, my bad.
We drank it all.
Oh Jesus, can you please help us?
But do you think Japan's gonna bounce out of their COVID crisis into a quote white boy summer and hot girl summer? No. In fact, there's a good chance that a lot of Japan has been quite enjoying lockdown.
Well, part of it is because Japan seems to be more of a shame-based culture as opposed to the United States that is more of a guilt-based culture.
Sure.
That's one reason why this cannot happen. I think there won't be, unless there is some ultra-nationalist cool way to sell no, I don't even think that's even possible. How the fuck do you do it? Nippon summer? I don't think Japan could have a white boy summer or a Nipponese summer or and aren't there the fucking that Japanese minority with the tan skin? Aren't they a fucking, because it's not, there's more than one ethnic group in Japan. Come on, someone can look this up on
I just don't think they would have it because it's not culturally a thing they would do.
No.
Americans,
it's beyond that. They can't.
Yeah, we lost a summer, and people always even if you're a working class person, unless you've grown the fuck up and have a family, there are middle-aged people who are summer, woo, time to go to the beach and take our clothes off, and it's put your clothes back on. You're 28 and fat, but they don't think about that. But because, woo, summer, we lost one. And now people are doubling down and going double summer.
I didn't lose a summer.
I didn't either. But there are people who genuinely think they lost a summer to COVID. And now this summer is their new, is double summer.
You might know someone who lost a lot of time, scared to death of the outside world, where there are jerk-offs like me running with no mask trying to get exercise.
They already told China they're already willing to go to war. That's going to lead to a Jap boy summer.
Jap boy summer? I could get behind Jap boy summer.
That could work.
No, but unless they call themselves that.
Yeah, of course.
Unless, hold on. Damn it.
I don't know what you're trying to do. Well, for my money, this far.
There we go. So I'm trying to get comfortable here. Go fuck yourself. Not you, them, ladies and jerks. Who are you to judge?
I was gonna say, as far as accents go, I hate to generalize because I can't really. Maybe you could tell from the local area. Maybe you've heard it. Whatever the Middle Eastern accent that is very prominent around this area lately, I hate it. Because of how guttural it is and how loud it is. It almost always sounds like they're yelling at each other.
Really?
Have you not noticed that? even when they're not, like, even when they're speaking English,
it's not Egyptian.
It's almost as if the natural tongue that they speak in, it might actually just be like an Arabic. It's always
no, but Arabic from where?
I don't know, but it's always loud. And I've noticed, like, they'll be standing outside on a corner talking to each other, and they're like yelling at each other, and I'm like, why are you doing this? And I've only ever seen it from the local Middle Eastern groups that are around here. Okay. It's like they're constantly yelling, and you can hear it because like there are tones in their voice where there are like certain accents in their letters, like their vowels, spike up. So it's as if they have to do it because that's like the way they were taught to say that like letter,
right?
From whatever they speak.
Or that phrase.
Yeah, but like they're speaking English, but when they're translating, that tone that they use in their native tongue is still there, so it's got that higher pitch and waves, and it like I walk by a group of people and they're just yelling, and it's like, and they're talking to each other and they're next to each other and they're yelling.
Well, okay, I don't. It can't be Egyptian because if that's the case, someone would have pointed out there are Egyptians and queens. Is it where? There's women that come from a country that sound like screaming birds. Oh, you mean like Vietnamese in the language of love?
Maybe. Either way, I don't know what it is, and it actually has nothing to do with the language itself. It has to do with the way they are phonetically taught to speak, to use certain vowels, and it makes it sound.
Are they like Libyan refugees?
Maybe. No, there you go, Vietnamese. I've also heard that from like German people, like people who speak German naturally, like their native tongue is German, and then they learn English. Certain like phrases and vowels,
they pronounce it differently.
And like, but there's a forcing of that vowel. It's not like it doesn't have like a neutral. There's like a, and it's weird. You to hear like the shift in volume, not sound, volume,
right? To
pronounce a certain noise.
Well, part of it is because, well, I mean, if you take German, for example, like kind of like Spanish, there are accent marks over the vowels, which means you have to say it in a certain way.
Yes.
So, like, that's one reason. Like the umlaut,
Yeah, I'm aware.
So
like, the only certain languages do it. Like, I have a Chinese friend, and I know certain words are specifically meant to be said louder. But that's for like effect,
right?
But it's not like the natural tongue is like shifting in volumes and peaks, and it's like first of all, how are you doing that? Second of all, why?
Right.
Why are you going between like high and low volume?
Okay. Well, I mean,
Weird.
Well, Chinese is a different like landmine of a fucking language, like all things considered.
I mean, I have no issue with the accent though; it doesn't bother me.
So, all right. Accents. I think I'm done with accents.
Yeah.
I mean, unless we're done. Well,
listen, accents was the one I was like, I don't know what the fuck you want to talk about. But apparently it was more about the gentrified lack of accent.
Well, the rootless cosmopolitans that have no accent is it's an underlying clause of why I wanted to bring this up.
Yes, clearly.
No other way to put it. Listen.
I gotta fuck with my mask real quick.
Are you in a city? Have you noticed rootless cosmopolitans in your city? Are they going to like artisanal beer and cheese places? Are they going to places that don't cater to the natives and the locals? You too can point and laugh at the Chomsky hunks and the rootless cosmopolitans with no accents that come to your city as well. They're all over Queens, and despite the fact that like it's kind of gross over here, what happened in Brooklyn was by design. Once upon a time, Brooklyn used to be our Shelbyville, and we can kind of point and laugh at it, and it is kind of funny to go from like certain parts of like Brooklyn and be like, oh, this is a bootleg Jackson Heights. Oh, this is a bootleg like Sunnyside. You know what I mean? Oh, this is a bootleg Queens Village. But then,
what came first, Queens or Brooklyn?
Let's find out. I'd like to know. But what happened to Brooklyn was ugly by design. It got gentrified in a way that I've never seen anywhere else, and I've always held the opinion that what happened to Brooklyn was later applied elsewhere, not only in the United States, but like, outside the United States, and fine-tuned to the cultural...
Queens County was founded in 1683.
Okay. 1683. And then...
1636. The first settlement in what is now Brooklyn took place in 1636.
All right. All right. We lost the first one, boyos. I'm really sorry to say that. That didn't happen on our watch.
Kellen.
It just happened, man. I'm sorry.
Named for Kellen, the Netherlands.
Can we get an F in the chat for Brooklyn? Can you
mean for Queens?
Oh, fuck Brooklyn. To type an F, please.
But they beat us. They were first.
Yeah, but they lost. Type an F in chat for Brooklyn.
No.
Just fuck you.
They were technically first, dude. Hey, Top Kool-Ader's burning some money.
Thank you, Kool-Ader. Muchas gracias por el dinero.
Enjoy a side of garlic bread on me next time you get some pizza.
Thank you, Kool-Aid. Oh.
Well, now we gotta order pizza.
Okay, fine. And we have to get garlic bread. Kool-Ader, why you gotta be like that?
Solid.
So, I would like to state very quickly though that
throw a cigarette at me.
Okay. I will.
I said a cigarette.
You got what you wanted.
All right, now throw fire at me.
Okay, hold on.
Damn it! Now I gotta eat garlic bread on top of chips all day.
Mad Muzan goes, Kazuya and Smash Brothers stream tomorrow night, boys, 10 p.m. Alright.
I heard he's kind of jank.
Yes, I got it in the end.
Yeah, I heard Kazuya confirm. I heard he's got a lot of busted abilities, but all those busted abilities don't do shit because he can't move and he can't fight properly.
Really?
Like, he's got super armor, invincibility, a reflector. He's got a taunt that does like 4-hit combo. Like, he's just got a lot of really strong ability. He's got like a kill throw, but apparently he's slow and janky. So it's like, yeah, they gave him all this really strong shit to compensate for the fact that he's kind of slow and janky.
He's a heavyweight.
I don't know if he's a heavyweight. I think he just moves poorly. But again, this is going off, like, because the people I talk to about Smash, like, the only one I take seriously is, like, one of the guys I used to play with, like, competitively. And he was like, yeah, he's mad fun, and he's got a busted kit. But he, like, if you're faster than him, you still fuck him up.
By the way, let the record state, like, El Primo, this is what's left. Thank you for sending us this fucking treasure trove of what I had was... Oh my sweet Jesus! Like now, I don't have chips in my bloodstream. I now have blood in my chip stream. My lord, thank you, El Primo. Danger goes. He has tough guy, so he can walk through really weak moves like jab combos.
Yeah.
There's a name for it. Tough guy. It's fucking called tough guy. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, like I've always. If that's what it's called, like flinch resistance, basically. Super armor.
According to El Primo, Tekken combos kind of transfer over too, so he's ahead of the game. All right. So El Primo, so are you now going to transfer your Tekken jank ability over to fucking doling out the harshness in Smash Brothers?
I mean, shit. See, the only issue I had with those like translations, I could see how Tekken might be a little bit easier to do with that. Just because of the nature of how Tekken combos were like meant to be strung together. Old Street Fighter probably worked better. New Street Fighter combos, like Ken and Ryu didn't work properly for me. But I never got into the new Street Fighter combo system. I think Terry translated really fucking well.
Really?
Like King of the Fighters move like combos.
Well, the Fatal Fury, simple, like, you know, like button in direction.
Yeah. It worked really well with fucking Smash, at least in my opinion. I think Terry translated super well. I think Ken and Ryu went poorly. Ryu was better because he's slower, but I do think these like 2D fighters work better in Smash when they are slow, because like Smash fast characters are all about like tippy taps and like knocking you around and aerial mechanics. There's no aerial
and opening you up for something like, you know, like for a combo into a super.
Well, yeah, like I mean, especially in Smash Ultimate. Like Smash Ultimate, there's a lot of aerial game. 2D fighters don't do aerials.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, okay, I'll give you an example. Wolverine from the Children of the Atom fighting game the Marvel superheroes fighting game.
Marvel fighting characters have always done nasty shit because they were built around that like Marvel vs. Capcom engine. We're talking actual 2D fighters. Like, go play Street Fighter and tell me how many aerial combos you do. You might end a move with an aerial, or like finish a combo up, or mid-combo aerial someone to juggle them for a second. But how many like multi-hit aerials do these 2D fighters usually get?
Right.
Like that, we're talking like Guilty Gear does aerial combos. You know, Guilty Gear fighters in Smash.
Even Potemkin has air combos.
Everyone in Guilty Gear does. That the fucking Guilty Gear and Blaze Blue are all about like aerial comboing. But that's a different mechanic. So like Smash is a fighting game that relies on aerial supremacy. At the end of the day, it's like where you make most of your fucking kills is like air game. Either you're off the ledge guarding, or you're knocking them up and trying to get them to die going up. But very little of the main, other than like a string of combos to get them off the ledge, and now you're playing air games over the ledge. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a lot of aerial combat. 2D fighters weren't built for that. If they put Akuma in the game instead of like Ryu and Ken, who has like air blasting, maybe. Because he could do like the fucking flat combos to get you off, and then air guard you with like Hadokens.
Right.
Akuma would have made more sense. Or someone like, I don't know, Guile or Remy, who could technically use the flash to guard the ledge.
Just throwing this out there, like, I could imagine a character, like, for what it's worth, like, a character like Blanca or Dalsim would have worked well too. Would have been, like, kind of ridiculous.
Could fucking stretch your arm you and knock you around.
But on top of that, like, the Yoga Fire, the Yoga Flame, and that acts as that, like, universal smash, like, negates, or it, like, I could work on top of this, or...
Dalsim would have been an amazing Smash character.
The reach would have been broken in some ways, too.
Just for aerial, for, like, knocking you around.
And getting back on the ledge. Like,
yeah, stretchy arms and shit. Like, Dalsim would have been amazing.
Oh, and, like, yoga.
Yeah. Would have been great.
The yoga noogie.
I mean, yeah, a lot of them are just, they're meant to be 2D fighters.
Hey, Nintendo, if you're watching, fix your shit and put Dalsim in it, alright?
No, they're done, I think.
India!
I think they have, like, one character left, I think. And then they're done. Like, there's no more additions.
Fungu, Nintendo.
The question is, who's going to be the last guy?
Dive kick is aerial? Oh, that's right, Danger. Fucking the Dalsim dive kick?
Yeah, like, who's going to be the last Smash character is the question now. And why is it Crash Bandicoot?
What? Really?
I don't know. Or Monster Hunter.
Watch it. Watch it be some, like, dumb bullshit like the very original Mario Brothers, where it's like 1v2 and with the POW in the middle.
Oh, Jumpman.
Watch it be some
like
dumb shit like Jumpman.
I mean, I feel like the last character either has to be
Lance Bean.
it either has to be a Nintendo property that we've all completely disregarded, like someone we've never even considered, but like is a classic. Right. A iconic. We're talking like the whole world of gaming knows who this person is.
Right. Maybe like a Moggle.
I don't know. Like how when Pac-Man made it in, it's like everyone knows who Pac-Man is.
Right.
So it's got to either be like a Nintendo property that we've all overlooked, an icon. Like you ain't putting fucking Master Chief in the fucking game because fucking half the game you give a shit about Master Chief.
Duke Nukem.
I don't think he would be an iconic character. I think, honestly...
Always bet on Duke.
Honestly, Doom Guy, I think, is one of the biggest contenders.
Madman moves on and goes, I'm just waiting for Tekken characters in a game with a good netcode. Danger goes, it was anything like core ending of the Brawl Pack. What if,
Doom Guy.
You think so?
Who's more iconic in gaming than motherfucking Doom Guy?
It would probably...
And his kit from Doom Eternal makes him a perfect match for Smash.
But, like, in terms of, alright, well, in terms of overlooked, alright, like, first, there's Crash Bandicoot. You're not wrong.
Crash is iconic.
I think okay, wait, El Primo goes, last Smash character is Waluigi. You know what I would hope it would be? Honestly, in my heart of hearts?
Sakurai himself.
Some bullshit like Earthworm Jim. Hey, fuck you.
It's not.
Then why not, like, the guy from Pitfall the Mayan Adventure for Super Nintendo? The last character is Master Chief. The soldier from TF2.
It'll never be Master Chief.
Ooh, danger. I wish it was like the heavy weapons guy, but like soldier from TF2. Alright, I'll take that.
It's got to be someone more iconic.
What this? Oh no, you couldn't have the spy in Smash. That's impossible.
It has to be someone renowned though. They're not renowned. They're
the pyro from
they're
TF2.
Valve characters. Like no one cares about Valve characters.
Fuck.
Valve fans do, but like they're not iconic.
You see, Danger, the pyro would be perfect.
Like in the same way that you could be like, well, a character from Team Fortress 2 is fucking iconic. I could be like, so is Arthas from Warcraft. He's not making it in the fucking game.
Okay, what about Red Aramer?
Honestly, Red Aramer or fucking Sir Arthur would make sense. Like Arthur's been put in like other fighting games, so I'm not sure if he's gonna count.
Well, he's always been like an assist. He's never been like an actual.
No, he was a fighting character in what's it called? Like Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which is why he might not make it in.
Oh.
It's why Beautiful Joe's not going to make it in, even though he's technically an icon.
What about Sam and Max? No.
I mean, if I had to put money, it would be Doom Guy.
Or you know what would be?
Or it's going to be Sakurai himself. He's going to put himself in the game.
You know what would be like the ultimate like fucked up, horrific, like bleak vision of the future that we could get? If it was some bullshit like a Star Wars character.
No, I wouldn't do that. If they're going to do some meme shit, they have to do Goku, because when they did the poll of like when Nintendo did an actual poll of like who do you want to see in the game, Goku was number one. So like if they want to meme it and be like we're gonna genuinely go off of that stupid fucking poll, Goku goes in the game.
So I imagine when he gets to Super Bowl, he gets the blonde hair.
Possibly, unless they go like classic like regular Goku, and then like the super is just he jumps up and is like share your energy with me, and then like gets a spirit bomb and throws it and just fucking eats the stage, and like everyone gets it.
Well, wouldn't he have a Kamehameha?
Or he could do that. Yeah. He could do the super Kamehameha, so like he gets it and then like he tags somebody and then he goes Super Saiyan.
Watch it be some bullshit like the final character of Smash, Yamcha.
Like I said, if I was
wasn't he the strongest human? I mean, like,
I think
no, that's Krillin.
Yeah, right? I think it was. I mean, it was Tien technically.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, because Tien was like a villain for a while.
But then, like, so where does Yamcha rank in the? I mean, like, other than the bottom.
The bottom.
Oh, Yamcha.
Yamcha's actually the bottom.
Damn.
I'm pretty sure Krillin was the bottom in Dragon Ball, and then the second we got to Z, Yamcha.
Poor Yamcha.
Just because, like, Krillin trained with Goku makes him stronger. Tien was inherently stronger because of, like, psychic powers and better training.
Right.
Yamcha was just, like, a guy who knew how to fight.
Scrub.
I mean, he was fucking powerful for his time, and then he was, like, a human who had to fight.
But he's just, that's it. He's not... Yeah. He's not in this hierarchy of anime. He's just some human who...
Basically, I mean, not that I don't.
What if? Oh, okay. So, but if Japan is in charge, then what if like super mega iconic thing? Everyone in Japan. Okay. Dragon Quest, aka Dragon Warrior.
They already have a Dragon Quest character.
Really?
They have the hero.
Oh, because I was gonna be like, why not like the blue slime?
They have the hero.
Fuck the hero.
And the hero has like multiple different skins of like the different heroes.
Is he good?
He's kind of RNG. Like, he has, like, I forgot how it works. Like, basically, when he uses a spell, I think it's like he gets, like, a spell from a pool, and, like, one of them is a one-hit kill.
Oh.
You get that one, you're just like, oh, dead.
So, okay.
But you're kind of just like, spell, 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 and, like, hoping you get something, and otherwise you're just, like, using it. He's weird. I never played him properly, but, like...
So you could be fighting, and then, like, spell, and you heal yourself, but then, like,
you're not getting hit. Yeah, like...
That's shitty. Alright. He's really good. He has a bunch of moves even without the menu. Oh, okay, yeah, Danger.
He's fun. He's got some gimmicks to him.
The best Yamcha was when he was a Major League Japanese baseball player who just hit the ball at the stadium every time he batted. And then, like, he slides it at home and he's in the dead position.
Slides in as a crater. There's just a crater at home plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, if I was a gambling man, my money is on Doom Guy or Crash Bandicoot.
Yamcha.
Or Goku. I also, like I said, I still would not be mad if Sakurai just put himself in the game because according to him, he's retiring.
Alright.
And I don't know if he has any contract with Nintendo to be like, listen, like when I'm gone, you don't get to keep making these fucking games. Because like the only reason he's still on the project is because they kept making Smash games, and he was like, I want to retire and be done. And they're like making a Smash game, and he's like, you're not ruining my games. And then it was like, make another one. You're not ruining Smash. And I think this is the one where he's like, we're done. No more Smash.
So like, what is he gonna be like? Dan, the worst character of the game, or like?
I don't know. If Sakurai's in the game, he'd be probably. I mean, if Sakurai's in the game, let's just follow the trend of Sakurai making his own characters really strong. Like, Kirby was really strong. Meta Knight was really strong. DDD's really strong. Like, why wouldn't Sakurai make himself busted?
Touche. Imagine he's just like all three of those characters at once.
Yeah, whatever. I don't think Sakurai's a good character. I think it's Doom Guy.
You think so?
Last character's gotta be iconic, has to make everyone hyped.
I don't know. What if it's like some shit like Astro Boy?
Yeah, but like that's not gonna get everyone hyped.
Okay, what if it's some shit like Mickey Mouse?
You have to put something in there that it doesn't matter if you're a fan of the character. You're like, oh shit, that dude.
The cool spot?
Yeah. Like Mickey Mouse, I think half the community would be like, fuck you, that's dumb. But they would all know who he is.
Right.
Also, Disney would never let it happen.
There are chips in my mask. Don't judge.
Or I think Doom Guy is a perfect pick because every single person knows Doom Guy,
right.
And most people have a positive idea of who Doom Guy is. And thanks to Eternal and 2016, you technically don't have to make him this gun-toting monster. So he can actually throw hands now.
What would his smash be? Like the BFG or the chainsaw?
Probably, if I had to go off of the new games, it'd probably be like the fucking, what's it called? Chain shotgun. Like, bang! Because he tags you with it, charges into you, and then blasts your ass. If we're going, like, Eternal. Or he just gets the fucking, like,
the
rage,
demon.
Yeah, like the rage mode.
Oh, the berserk pack.
And he just gets to run around, and like as he hits you, he heals and just fucking knocks you off shit. I don't know.
All right,
but like modern Doom Guy can do a lot of shit with his hands. He's not like old Doom Guy where it was just a guy with a shotgun. Like now he has movement and like jumps and dashes and can punch you and kick you and fucking suplex you and pull out gadgets. Like, Snake gets a rocket launcher and a fucking mine and a grenade. Doom Guy can get a shotgun.
Okay.
And the chain.
Okay, fine. Doom. Well, what if it's Spider-Man?
Why would they think again? Disney's not gonna allow it. Take Disney IPs out of the question.
Okay. What if it's
Because Disney's gonna be like, how much money? And
Smokey
Nintendo's gonna be like,
what if it's
poor? Nintendo can't afford Disney characters.
Tails.
Maybe.
Knuckles. Oh, okay.
Sonic's gone by himself for a while. And I feel like the Sonic franchise, love it or hate it, pretty recognized. I could see another Sonic character getting
Knuckles.
It would.
What if it's Dr. Robotnik?
I wouldn't care as long as it's not another hedgehog.
Oh, well, yeah. So if it's Shadow, would you like fucking
that'd be a waste of
hate Nintendo forever?
Because it would just be like a fucking mirror of Sonic, but like probably better. Or they make it like Gun Shadow
or,
for the meme.
Or it would. Okay, what is the difference between Mario and Dr. Mario?
Bouncy pills. And I think Dr. Mario has like stat differences, but like bouncy pills.
What are the stat differences?
I don't fucking know. I don't know the game that well.
Okay.
Mechanically, bouncy pills. What do you want? And I think Mario still has the Flood, and Dr. Mario has this downspin, I think, on the down B. I think. I haven't played either of those characters in a long time.
Okay.
But I think they gave Mario Flood for his down B and not the, like, down twirly spin thing.
Ah, gotcha.
Well, I mean, it shouldn't be a side character, but, like, Sonic's all by himself.
What if it's some bullshit like Sephiroth?
Sephiroth's already in the game.
That's bullshit. What if it's Ares? Oh, she's already in the game.
Who? Ares?
Yeah.
No, it's Cloud and Sephiroth right now.
Okay. What if it's Vivi?
Vivi's not iconic enough. I love Vivi.
What if it's just Black Mage?
I mean, everyone knows who fucking Black Mage is. They can definitely get away with Black Mage.
Ah,
okay. I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree with the idea though that it's not going to be a second character from a franchise already like that's in the game. It's going to be a main character. like a new edition main character that they're gonna want everyone to lose their mind over. I mean, I think they expected Kazuya to get a lot of like hype,
Right.
and I think most people were like, another fucking fighting game character. And you went with Kazuya instead of Heihachi for some reason. All right.
Okay. Well, how about Chrono?
Chrono would be awesome.
Or even any Chrono Trigger character.
It will be Chrono, though. What are they gonna do? Fucking Magnus?
Frog.
Yeah, Frog. No, they're gonna do Chrono. Chrono would be great. I would love Chrono. I don't know if Chrono's. I mean, I guess.
Or
Chrono,
Gonzalez the robot.
I guess Chrono Trigger is pretty much like, even if you're not a fan of the franchise, it's pretty well known. Like everyone knows what Chrono Trigger is.
Yeah.
So I think Chrono could probably do it too.
Alucard.
I mean, they do have Simon and what's his name, Richter. That's the thing. I don't know if they're gonna add like kind of like what Danger was saying. It's not gonna be another character. I would still love Alucard. I think he would play amazingly. I don't know why we got Simon and Richter, who are basically clones of each other, when we could have gotten like Simon and Alucard.
There's no difference. Well,
no, there is like again stat and like movement differences. Like I think Simon is slower but tankier, hits harder. Richter's faster.
I got
It's like the Roy Marth thing.
Ah, all right.
But they're totally not mirrors of each other. Even though they're the same fucking character, just slower.
No.
But I'll give you Chrono. Chrono is what I hadn't thought about.
If they're not going to build on something, then like, okay, then like what comes to mind? Like Chrono, like Goku.
Yeah. That's the thing. The thing with Goku though is the only reason I even put Goku on the potential list is because of that fucking poll.
Astro Boy.
Goku is not a fucking video game character.
No. Legend of the Overfiend. No. D from Vampire Hunter D. I don't know.
You are pushing this table.
Oh, my bad.
Personally, I think Bomberman deserves a slot, but he's an assist trophy.
This is true.
I think.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
I would kill for Beautiful Joe because he saved Capcom. And I don't care if he's been in other games. He deserves it.
All right.
He saved Capcom.
The guy from Dead Rising? No.
He's been in some games, not in like a Smash game.
He's covered wars,
Also keep in mind that like, and anyone in chat who knows, correct me if I'm wrong, the people who are making Smash is not necessarily Nintendo. I think it's like Namco. Like they're the ones who produced the game, I think.
Really?
Yeah. So Namco has a say in this.
Oh, Mars people.
You know what? A character from that franchise in general.
Or like just Metal Slug. Like
yeah, a Metal Slug character could possibly make it in.
But like you could have made Marco, but you got Mars people.
Metal Slug is getting a tactics game. So they might be able to tie it into that.
You mean Advanced Slug?
Yes. That's a good one too. That's what I mean. Like characters where it's like when someone sees it, even if they don't know the game necessarily,
put a Gundam. Ooh,
they
okay.
see it and they're like, I recognize this character. That's what's important for the last one. It has to be recognizable. Which is why I thought like Kazuya was a weird pick. If you know Tekken, you know who Kazuya is. If you know Tekken, you saw the cliff in the trailer because the trailer is like Kazuya walking to the cliff and like throwing mad characters off the cliff as he just like beats them up. But from an iconic standpoint, why didn't you put Heihachi?
Okay.
If you don't know Tekken, you've seen Heihachi in like promotional material. It makes no sense.
Okay. But what about like a Moggle from Final Fantasy VI?
Well, what we're really looking at this point is it's one of two things. Is it because like Nintendo does two things right now with Smash characters: Nintendo fan service, or iconic character from another like game
that they've absorbed into their thing.
Yes. So like, is it going to be a Nintendo fan service, like Chrono?
Thank you, Kool-Aider.
So like, is it going to be a Chrono Nintendo fan service kind of character, or is it going to be a like icon from the world of gaming? Personally, I want to say it's going to be an icon.
Watch it be some bullshit like Excite Bike.
Everyone will lose their mind.
If it's Excite Bike?
If it's they'll be pissed.
Oh.
They'll be
okay.
Pissed.
Red Armor?
I wouldn't mind Red Armor. But if you're gonna do Ghouls and Ghosts, which does deserve a slot in fucking
Arthur?
Smash, I would say do like Arthur.
Okay, but what about
But give him a kit that works differently than what he had in like MVC. Like make Arthur feel like you're playing ghouls and ghosts.
Watch it be some random obscure bullshit like the guy from Super Punch Out on Super Nintendo, like whatever the fuck his name
Not
is.
Little Mac.
Not Little, yeah. Not Little Mac. That's yes.
Mike Tyson. Okay.
All right, Mike. Watch it be Ronald McDonald.
It could be anybody.
Watch it be.
And to be fair, they've picked a lot of classic characters that I think a lot of people didn't see coming over the course of Smash.
Right.
Which is why this is such a hard pick. Because if something like, let's say Mega Man never made it into the game, and we were like, yo, we're on to the last character, everyone would be like, it's fucking Mega Man. But like, there's so many characters that are already in it. And it's like, who the fuck else could they put in this game? Like, who's left?
Super fighting robots. Mega Man. So
like,
watch it be.
Who's left?
And he's next Smash character is Keep on Trucking guy with the beard. All right, I think the dog.
Oh my god, dog! Shut up!
The dogs are fighting amongst themselves.
Ridiculous.
They get territorial, and then they start biting and peeing on
They hear
one another.
fucking noise outside. They just start freaking out.
That's who the next character in Smash should be. The sounds of animals fighting. Watch it be. I don't know, like a Appleseed, the robot from Appleseed. No. Let me think. What would be okay? Before the end of the evening, we just want to cover our bases very quickly. There's still Footwear, and there's a Party Etiquette.
Yes.
So, okay, Party Etiquette. Just the long story short, last weekend we did not stream because we went to a birthday party. It was held by James. He's a gentleman behind MK Ultra Money and Women Posting Their L's. And it was his birthday. Well, it was his birthday the day before, but the party was held on the 3rd, which was right before America's birthday.
That's a good one, too. Ryu Hayabusa.
Oh. From Ninja Gaiden.
Ryu Hayabusa is a good one.
That would be... watch them spit in the face of everyone and pick, like, Shinobi. Alright. Kazama Kiryu's the next Smash character.
Rayman's also a good choice.
Did you get a picture with Big Tits McGee?
No. Or Gomon.
No, Kool-Aider, I did not. Is the Dig Dug guy a character?
He's not in the game. I don't know if he's an assist trophy or not. How would you make Dig Dug a fucking character, though? He has like 2 moves. I would love to have Dig Dug, but it makes no fucking sense.
I don't. But he would have to rely on the enemies he's slaughtered all throughout the game.
Yes, he'd have to like summon
boulders
things.
And digging.
I guess they made Duck Hunt Dog a fucking character. What am I saying? Like Duck Hunt's a character.
I'm pretty sure they could put his digging, like. I'm just saying, you will need to listen to the Chubby Checker version of Dig Dug song. Alright, so real quickly, Party Etiquette. It was very thoughtful of Monoxus to show up with pizza. I showed up with red velvet birthday cake, and our friend had showed up with a 36-point Vegeta action figure and a THC-laden thing of Nerds rope. And it was nice. And in terms of, like, Party Etiquette, alright, so for starters, like they didn't know who the fuck James was or any of these other people, but it was like the 3rd or 4th time I was meeting most of these people. But regardless of that, it was a birthday, so I couldn't come empty-handed. He didn't come empty-handed, and neither did our friend. So that was kind of a power move.
Fair. But you want to talk about the etiquette, no?
But etiquette, yes. So in terms of etiquette, like, for starters, party etiquette, like, across the board, don't be weird. Like, I have no other... And I mean, no one was weird at that party. It was just, like, don't, like... Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course.
Don't be weird. James, a.k.a. James Healy. A.k.a. MK Ultra Money, and Women Posting Their L's. In fact, I can show you a picture right now. Give me one moment, Kool-Aider. You're going to have to hold on to your butts, alright, Kool-Aider? Hang on. You gotta calm your titties.
Real Hero wants to know what's weird, though. Well, that's something that I was going to talk about. Because, as far as party etiquette goes, I think,
So that's him. Can you see that? Yeah, that's James. He's a gentleman behind MK Ultra Money and Women Posting Their L's. That's who James is. And like myself, Monoxus peed on the White Claw in the Silent Hill bathroom. All right.
I did it before it was a meme.
Before it got popular.
I was there early, and I walked into the bathroom, and I was like, I forgot who was outside. There were like 2 people waiting for the bathroom other than me, and that bathroom like just reeked of like piss, and the floor was like there was like a puddle, and the light wasn't working properly.
It was a Silent Hill bathroom.
And then like I looked into the toilet, and there was a White Claw just dropped in the toilet, and I was like, I don't care, I'm just gonna piss here. And then I walked out, and like I was about to throw up because of how gross it was in there. And then and the next day, after I had left and I went onto Twitter, it was just like the White Claw in the toilet. It like became a meme, and I was like, all right, I guess everyone else took notice of it too. So that was a thing.
And someone dubbed it the Silent Hill bathroom.
Because it was gross and smelly and disgusting. And like there was mad people just lining up to use this one disgusting bathroom that no one wanted to use. We're so lucky that there weren't like, I mean, later on there were more ladies there, but like when I first got there and it was just like the first dudes hanging out, the bathroom was already disgusting. There's no way those chicks.
And then someone.
There's no way those chicks were using that
bathroom. They might have used the bathroom upstairs.
They had to, because that fucking the downstairs bathroom was disgusting. I didn't want to use it.
Right.
All right, because I didn't want my shoes standing in there, because it was disgusting to stand in. Not the point.
Touche.
Talking about party etiquette, which I guess technically, etiquette on the host's behalf. I respect him not wanting people to be like going up and down the stairs all day, right. But like subjecting us to that bathroom, that's a party foul.
It was okay. No one can bat 1,000. All right.
I'm just putting. We're talking about party etiquette, so like, was it still fine? Yeah. Did it become a meme? Yeah. Did we make the best of the bad situation?
Eventually, everyone went upstairs.
I'm still gonna call it a party foul because that's disgusting. Much like someone being like, "You don't smoke around me. I'm allergic," and then like later on,
everyone's just huffing weed around her.
People actively being like, "No, you're not," and like here we can prove it. Except like it's kind of agreed upon. We all know it without saying it that we're all smoking spliffs, and like clearly you're not. But you're gonna keep sitting there and being like, "I'm allergic," and no one's smoking cigarettes, and it's like actually everyone's smoking cigarettes. You're just not allergic.
So it was just so unnecessary, ladies and jerks.
What else is good and bad etiquette? As you mentioned, showing up to a party empty-handed is bad etiquette. Show up with something. If you can't afford a lot, bring a bag of ice. Something.
Wow, yeah, that would have counted actually. Bag of ice. You could have kept the cooler going longer.
Bring a bag of ice. Bring waters, like a case of water. It's super cheap.
Right. No one was hydrating. That's right.
If you can, if they're drinking, bring beer. Food helps. Snacks, whatever. Anything in your budget. Also, flip side, your party, you're throwing it. Good etiquette. Have some drink available.
Right.
I don't know if James put any drink out. I know we showed up and there was already plenty of drink to go around.
He bought stuff for the party, and other people bought shit for it. And then people continued to bring stuff for the party.
I didn't know what he brought or what wasn't brought. All I knew was I showed up and it was like, we came with beer. And it was like, there's White Claws, there's Budweisers, there's some like, vodka and some whiskey. Like, help yourselves. And I was like, fantastic.
Oh, and Fujo.
Oh, yeah. So it was just like, here are the beers we brought. I'm going to have some of that whiskey now. Thank you very much. Because, like, that's a thing that's on the table. Here, drink the beers. I want the whiskey.
And then people showed up with, like, vodka and tequila.
And we went and bought chasers. Another thing, I like that people there were like, yo, what's up? There's mad liquor. No one's drinking it. Why is that? It's like, it's straight liquor. And it was like, we're going to go buy chasers. Good call. Let's see. I don't know if my exit, like, what's the etiquette on the Irish exit?
I mean, okay. Did at the very least, did you say goodbye to the host?
I tried to, and he was mid-conversation, and I was like, I gotta go.
I don't blame you.
But he was talking with, like, Wang and a couple other people, and, like, drinking, and I was just like, whatever, I don't give a shit.
That would have just put everything.
Like, hey, you just met me?
I'm leaving now.
I'm going. Goodbye. Like, come on. It's his birthday.
So, Monoxus
Monoxus
did what most people call an Irish goodbye, where he just kind of, like, materialized out of the party. Like, it's like in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, when you go into mist mode, that's what he did.
I mean, like, listen, if everyone's having a good time and you gotta go, I feel like it's not a poor thing to be like, I gotta go. I'm not interrupting anyone's good night, you know? If you're there with someone and, like, you need to specifically tell them, like, I'm out of here, like, someone's leaving with you, different story.
Right.
Or, like, I don't know, you are directly connected to the host via this, you know what I mean? Like, you're only there because the host brought you around, like if I threw a party and you're the only person who I invited who I want you to hang out with, and then, like, the rest is just people I'm inviting, where I'm like, no, I want you to chill with me tonight, and then you just dip, different.
Right.
You know? That's a whole different story.
Normalize the Irish goodbye.
I was a guest of a guest, so it's like, technically you may never see me again. Technically. Possibly will. Most likely will at some point, but like technically
you gotta come through for drunk Mario Party one of these days.
So I was like, everyone's having to. Even like I saw Kevin talking up some girl, and they were like, and it wasn't like weird fucking like him leaning and she's like, no, they were having like a, and I was like, I'm not gonna go say bye to him because like, hey, stop talking to this girl, I'm leaving, bye. Right. I was like, fuck it, go do your thing.
And like you left around like 9:30. He was there until like 1 in the morning.
Yeah, I left early as shit because I had shit to do. But like that's why I was like, I don't care. If it was like, I don't know, 2 in the morning, maybe it's like, listen, I'm gonna fucking be like, all right, who's left? I'm heading out, everyone. You get the drunken, even if they don't know who I am, they're like, hey, whatever, get like, but no.
Right.
It was like people are still winding up.
The general, hey!
Yeah. Everyone is still winding up to that, and I'm like,
still is exerted through some people at that hour.
So, I don't know. I agree with the normalizing of it, because, like, fuck it. If you got to get the fuck out and everyone's having a good time, why are you going to stop just to be like, I got to go? Especially at a party where...
Excuse me. I'm going to make this about me. I'm leaving.
Yeah, like, where if I were to be like, okay, how many people do I care about saying goodbye to right now? It would be, like, one hand, if not less. Mm. Like, you, Kevin, at that party... was it Terrence, maybe? Like him, James, which again, middle of conversation. And then, like, no one else did I actually, like, sit down and talk with. I mean, I chatted with people, but no one where I was like, nah, they're chill. It was like, you're cool, but, like, we didn't even exchange information. Like, we just talked about some shit because the group was talking.
Thing.
And I'm like, another group.
All right, so Danger is all... Gonna go now. It's 1:16. Should have done an Irish exit to be on topic. Hey, Danger, buenas noches. 1:16. I wonder where he's broadcasting from. 1:16 in the morning.
No idea.
England? I'm gonna say England. So I think, does that cover party etiquette? I mean, for what it's worth, I mean, just don't be weird. I mean, that's...
Define weird.
Oh, well, okay.
You mean, like, actively weird?
Yes.
Not just like you're awkward and weird.
I mean, well, I'm not, okay. Not everyone. All right, not everyone is some fucking Rodney Dangerfield super extrovert. You know what I mean? But if you got here, if someone invited you here, or if you're someone's +1, don't like fucking say something at least. Yeah. Like you just like no one. It's like, oh hey, you want to just show up to this place and there's like still like. There not only was there like a ridiculous amount of booze outside, but like then you go upstairs and there's like a liquor shelf, like just right there. Yeah. Make nice, will ya?
That's fair.
And then an egg cooking contest happens.
I mean, because like the only other party etiquette things I can think of is more like generic stuff. Like you don't dig through someone's fridge. Right. If you mess up someone's bathroom, you clean up after yourself. Which, like, in a party can become, like, a wide variety of ways to fuck someone's bathroom up.
And worst case scenario, say something.
Yes.
Don't let this turn into a detective show.
Yeah. Don't fuck in the whoever's in the host's, like, house without their permission. That's one you gotta keep in mind. Some people just are like, you go fuck in the bedroom. It's like, don't do that.
Excuse me.
Like, don't. There's a chance you can be like, listen, me and her, and the host might be like, hey, yeah, this room. But fucking ask. Yeah. Other than like criticisms, I can't think of anything. Like, remember when they put those lights up there? I wanted to yell at them.
Really?
They were just like, they brought out string lights to light the backyard up, and then they just kind of half-assedly threw it over shit, and there's just like a cord of lights hanging across the fucking like backyard, and another like cord of lights, and it's just like, you guys didn't even try and put these up and like around people, like you just threw them on shit, wrapped it around a tree, like
Hey, it was semi-effective.
How fucked up are you guys already? Oh, sun was still out. They're putting lights up. I mean, don't get me wrong, maybe I was just thinking ahead, but like, what are you fucking doing? They're sloppy, you guys are like not doing it well. And they're like, yeah, it looks good. I'm sitting there like, this looks terrible.
If you boys find any good streams to watch, the redacted event happening tonight, send me a DM. Oh yeah, the Irish thing.
Hold on, I had another one. Oh, that beer pong setup. Did you see that shit?
Yeah.
Did you see the floor?
No.
The floor was covered in like moss and dirt.
Really?
And they were just like playing beer pong, and the ball was just like rolling through like dirty, like muddy, mossy floor. And then they're just like dipping it in water cups and being like, no, throw it into your beer cup. And I was sitting there being like, just switch all the beer cups out for like water cups and just sip the beer from your hand. But they were still filling the beer cups up with beer. And I was like, that ball is covered with like just grime from the floor.
And lung herpes, maybe.
Possibly. But like, and
Can we have that on the record? Monoxis going, I seen it and I heard it. So
I gotta check something.
I think, and in terms of party etiquette, like try to. I mean, there wasn't a dress code, but like, I imagine like it would have been egregious if some guy just showed up in like short shorts. You know, like don't like dress decently. I suppose. Would that be party etiquette?
Dress like you're trying to fuck. I think that's the best way to look at it. Dress like you're trying to impress someone, even if it's just yourself.
Ooh, I'll take that. All right. And last on the docket would be footwear, right? Oh wait. Oh, Monoxis has to tell women on the internet, go fuck yourself, I'm streaming.
No. Kool-Aiders, check your Twitter.
Come on, Kool-Aider. Check your Twitter. Come on, Kool-Aider.
Confirm that link works. Yup. Yeah, I got a homie who every time one of these fights happens, he just posts a link in Discord being like, here's mad links to the fight.
Ooh.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so.
Although I'm not sure I'm going to be able to watch it tonight because they usually run late and I got to be up mad early tomorrow.
This is true because you have to be like doing, instructing someone on how to do burpees.
Yeah, oh, I should put burpees into so, like, should I put burpees? No, none of them can do burpees.
Really?
None of these clients. Not the ones I'm seeing tomorrow. Well, one's trying to power lift. Burpees are a waste of his time.
Come on, you gotta get the burpees in.
Nah. That's for obese clients. And I make them do jumping jacks.
Why do you? Oh, why not burpees?
Because burpees is more joint heavy, like the whole dropping. There's more joint activation because you have to drop down, push up, get yourself back up, jump, drop down. Where a jumping jack is just the jump.
Okay, so no burpees, jumping jacks.
Once they're in better shape, sure, you progress them. But like, if they're like, if they're deconditioned and obese, like now you're doing jumping jacks.
Okay.
And you're not doing them with me. We're not wasting a training session on jumping jacks. You're doing that shit at home, on your off days.
Okay.
Yeah. Training sessions are like, no. If you're gonna come and work out with me, like you're gonna work out. I'm gonna make your ass sweat.
Listen, ladies and jerks, Monoxis is a certified personal trainer, and that's how he is able to exert his dominance through people shedding fat and becoming lean, mean fighting machines, and yelling at people while they sob, and they're like, "It hurts, keep running." He yells at them like while they run in fucking the track and field at a park nearby in an undisclosed location. Madman Muzan probably saw it when he left the fucking chips by.
Don't think so. He's got to train. But yeah, let's see.
Jumping jacks, not
party etiquette. Oh, don't invite underage people.
That's kind of a given, but the most pragmatic of wisdom often goes out the window the first.
Sure. Okay. Asterisk. Check if they're underage if you don't know. Because that also happens. I was at a party once where, I mean, technically there was a lot of illegal drinking going on, but for the most part, everyone was 18 and over. There was the handful of the 21-year-old amount of people who were like, and that's how the alcohol got there. But the idea is like, all right, because of age differences, like if cops show up, and they did, if there's like a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old there, accountability starts going up to the adults in the room. And like, who owns the house, who's the host of this. Now you're responsible for like, not just the 18-year-olds who are underage drinking, but like there's a 15-year-old or multiple 15-year-olds who got fucking snuck in because this is like high school parties and shit. Don't be that person where it's like, nah, she's good. And it's like, she's a freshman.
Don't be that person,
you're just trying to get a freshman drunk and smash. And like, again, the cops did show up to this party. And lucky for us, the entire party like event was happening more or less in the basement. And they showed up because of like noise complaints. And there were just a couple of assholes upstairs. And I think when they like decided to check the place, like the host was 21 and like some of his homies were upstairs playing beer pong, and the guys who were there passed enough, so they were like 18. So they were just like, all right, there's some people here, but like the downstairs is like, and like you can like the bass is like what's going on down there? It's like, just some more friends hanging out. Meanwhile, people are like climbing out windows and like trying to open the back door, which is like jarred, like barred shut, and like just trying to get all their shit and hiding drugs. Like I crawled my ass out a window. And it was like, come on, and like pulling people up, and like we're gonna lead through the alley. So yeah, and they eventually went down there, and like all that was left was like the person playing the music, and then the people were like, but everyone who was like aware was like, get the fuck out.
Wow.
Point is, like it could have gone much worse.
Don't be that person. All right, Try not to be that person.
Also, I guess I would argue, and this is another one of those like, it should go without saying. But check in on what the agreed upon substance abuse policies are. Because, like, last thing you want is someone showing up to your party and you're like, all right, like, I'm not going to, like, oh, you're smoking weed? You're cool. Oh, everyone's drinking? Whatever. All right, some people are doing blow. Maybe you're like, that's fine. And then one dude shows up, like, on ketamine and he's, like, losing his shit. And you're like, who invited this person?
Okay, there comes a fine line, depending if you invite somebody who like, okay, like, oh, you're on acid. Are you a social creature? What is your deal? Because, like, I don't want to be around. I would rather sit there and think about shit.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like,
if your plan is to do something that's
Jesus
not...
Christ, no, that can't. But if he's fine, if he's fine, if he got here on his own accord this way, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm with Tommy, and Tommy's like, hey Frankie, then okay,
different.
But
don't invite the guy who's gonna show up and be like, hold up, I gotta take a couple of bars of Xanny real quick, and it's like, dude, we're just hanging out. And it's just like, well, this is how I have fun, and then like in 20 minutes they're like on the fucking like love seat somewhere, like. It's like, dude, what's wrong with you? Why do you do this? Because I've been at that too. I've been at those parties where it's just like everyone's smoking and drinking and there's music and then people are like, we're taking E, and then someone's like, oh, pills? And then like next thing you know, there's like 3 people who are just like, and it's like, are they dying? Like, does anybody know?
Sleepy time.
Like, are they gonna die? Or do we leave them? Do we have to cancel this entire party because this asshole took an unknown substance and is now passing out? Like, do I have to call an ambulance?
And then they it's like a pregnancy scare. They wake up and he's like, "What time is it?"
Yeah, like that kind of nonsense. Even that, like, yo, like, okay, passing out, don't do it.
Please don't.
Like at all, don't do it.
Well, it's on you, all right.
But as far as etiquette, don't do it. You have control over these things. Don't.
Well, it's
manage yourself. Don't pass out, because no one wants to fucking drag you out of the house at 2 a.m. when everyone's leaving and your dumbass is passed out on the floor somewhere.
And like, I don't. No kind stranger is going to call you a taxi as you're fucking laying on the floor at 2:18 in the morning.
What's the thing? Like, because now you have 2 issues. Like, you have the unkind stranger who just throws you in a cab, and that's dangerous.
Right.
And you have friends, like, I know I've had people who blacked out on me, and I'm like, you motherfucker, and it's like, just get in the cab home. I'm like, yeah, let me just put them in a taxi blacked out. I'm sure they'll get home in one piece. Doesn't work.
It's not fail-safe.
No. The best thing you can do for those people is give them a rude awakening by putting them in a bathtub and turning the shower on. Being like, wake up, now what? Go home. You get. I have to wake you up.
Oh, and then do they get angry because their clothing is wet now?
I mean, who gives a shit? That's your problem.
There you go.
I mean, if you don't want to put in the shower, you can just get like a fucking cup of water and just wake up.
Attaboy. Attaboy, Monox.
Fuck, wake up.
Have you ever had to give someone 2 or more cups?
No.
Really?
Not. I mean, I don't think I've ever encountered that bad of a blackout.
But 1 cup usually does the trick.
I mean, I've only ever had to splash someone in the face with water once, to my knowledge. Usually a vigorous shaking works, and then you have to determine based on how well they respond after that, whether or not you're like, all right, I'm basically sending you out my door and like expecting you to black out somewhere else, which is like, how much do you care about this person? Because if they're like gonna black out again, or they're like currently still blacked out, and you're like, now walk home. Like, do you care about this human being? Because if you're letting them out in that state, there's a chance they're not making it home in one piece. They're going to fall asleep at like a park bench or like on the train or get mugged. You know what I mean? But, like,
right.
Is it your friend? You're probably not doing that. Did you throw a house party and there's just motherfuckers like you don't know or like someone else brought them and you're like, I don't care, get out of my house.
Right.
You can fall asleep on the fucking front, like, out in the front of the building on the sidewalk for all I care. Don't do it in my house.
Right.
Get out.
Do it on the bus station, not here.
Anywhere that's not my fucking like front door. Go away.
Fair play. But those are like among the pitfalls and warrants and like holding a party, yes. Which is an entirely different fucking campaign than just showing up, not being weird, not showing up empty-handed.
Yeah.
You know, and if there's a White Claw on the toilet, just pee on it.
I guess managed expectations is the golden rule when it comes to parties, both as a host and as a guest. You know, the idea of like, don't get too shit-faced, don't be that asshole who does fucking Xanax when no one else is.
Passes out 20 minutes on a chair.
You know, don't drink all the booze if you didn't bring anything. Don't pee on the floors. And then, like, as a host, come fully expecting that, like, someone's going to pee on your floors, someone's going to drink all the booze you leave out, someone's going to break something, someone's going to pass out, like, knowing that the implied etiquette is
someone's
not across the board. Yeah, like, you set yourself up for this. So before the party even starts, like, put away the fucking expensive things, lock the liquor cabinet, make sure that the hand towels are not ones you, like, buy bleach. I don't know, like...
Have a mop and a bucket ready.
Invite better friends. Yeah, I'm glad I'm not in that situation anymore. I'm not going to deal with people like that.
So, the last... What's up? Footwear.
Footwear.
Okay, so... a few things about footwear I always wanted to point out is how, while certain things look good, all right, and there is fashion to be considered when you wear footwear. Something like Chuck Taylors have, like, no back support.
Yeah, there's no functionality to them.
They're
good for lifting.
Really?
Because they're flat. It's like lifting with your feet, basically.
Ah, okay. But what if you're just lifting barefoot?
You could just do barefoot. But if you're the kind of person where you're like, I want to lift, and I don't own lifting shoes, and I don't want to be barefoot, like, classic Converse work very well because they're super thin, they don't add a whole lot, it's very similar mobility to your feet, very thin soles, so they're decent. They're not great lifting shoes. You could just get lifting shoes if that's what you want. Or again, barefoot is the way to go if you really care about that shit.
Oh, I'm surprised Kool-Aider has yet to request a picture of the garlic bread, because whenever food is ordered, he always bothers you for a picture, and then you begrudgingly, like,
I still gotta order food.
Ah.
Can't order just, yep.
Like.
But I will get on that now, since we're on the last topic anyway.
Because, like, hear me out, like, Kool-Aider had provided us with garlic bread, which, and you know, like, I've always wondered what Kool-Aider got out of images of food, where it's like, this man is eating this miles away across state lines.
He enjoys looking at good stuff, dude.
All right, Kool-Aider. You're running this low-key, quiet, private account aesthetics nonsense behind enemy lines. Let me find out Kool-Aider's actually a fucking Highlander. But in terms of footwear, honestly, in the hooded sweater, weather, all the way to maybe the middle of spring, I'm kind of partial to wearing boots. Otherwise, I'll wear sneakers. I'll wear sneakers. Sneakers. Go to Clint and milk your wife. Sneakers.
Recently I've been wearing like these deck shoes that I have because they're just super light and comfy. So like they're nice at the gym because I'm moving around a lot and I don't need something that's restrictive.
Okay.
And I'm constantly on my feet, so they're very comfy and they breathe and they look nice with the outfit. But I almost always wear running shoes. Like I own a ton of running shoes and that's what I wear all the time. What else? I have weatherproof Converse for when it rains.
Really?
Terrible for work though. Not good for like walking around and running and climbing stairs and all that shit. Like I would possibly use them to lift, but I would not recommend just like wearing Converse all day. What else? And in the cold weather, combat boots. Although I think there's an interesting trend of people who buy shoes for their look and not their comfort or functionality. Like people who...
You mean like clunky white sneakers?
I mean, if they're comfortable...
Maybe they are comfortable. I don't know enough about it.
But like all the people I see who wear those kinds of shoes, like the bigger, like clunky white-looking sneaker shoes, those are meant to be like as long as they're cushioned properly on the inside, like that's for working on your feet for long hours. Like, oh, you're a nurse, all right, you're on your feet all day. You know what I mean?
Sense.
It's like I've never understood why people in offices like. I get that like dress shoes are like a stylistic choice. But the weird thing about dress shoes is that they're all made with like a heel. Even like male dress shoes have that slight heel to them. And it's like, you are spending almost all of your time seated in an office job. Why do you need a shoe that raises your platform up when you're not standing around a lot? All that does is fuck your ankles up. Like wear flat, like suede shoes. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the name of them is, but there's like a specific style of shoe where it's like kind of like a dress shoe, where it's flat on the bottom. Those heeled fucking dress shoes are gonna kill your ankles.
Really?
Yeah, because you're constantly raising your ankle, you're fucking up your stability. Your feet are supposed to be flat.
You heard it here first, folks. Monoxis reminds you that dress shoes will fuck your ankles up.
Yeah, like they'll make you compensate because you're constantly standing with your feet like this, like slightly up. Women have it even worse. That's why like. Why do you think like so many chicks will end up being like 30 and being like, oh, my fucking lower back hurts like crazy? Because once you got to be like a young adult and a young woman, you're wearing heels that are pushing your ankles up, and now your ankle is being pushed into your knee, so your knee is pushing up into your hips, and your hips are pushing up into your spine. Does it make your butt look nice? Yeah. Does it curve your fucking lower back? Yeah. Does it do damage to your spine by holding in that position? Yes.
That's just ew.
Most physical compensations start at the ankle. Because it's your base. It's your base of support. If you fuck your ankles up, it fucks your knees up, it fucks your hips up, it fucks your back up, it fucks your shoulders up. It runs all the way up the body. So like comfortable shoes are very important. Comfortable, preferably flat shoes.
So you have to protect the ankles at all costs.
Yes. Which Converse are terrible for. Not good for support, but flat, stable, you know.
I mean, maybe one day I entertain the daydream of just wearing nothing but black for the rest of my life. And like black polo tops and black dress pants and black shoes. I don't mean black where like black metal shirt and black jeans and boots. No, I mean like black. Like hell, I'll even wear a black tracksuit.
I mean, I basically already actively wear black as much as humanly possible.
Well, I mean, when I explain this.
Well, I'm doing this on purpose. Like if I'm just like lounging or just chilling with people, it's almost always like black jeans, a black t-shirt, and black shoes.
Can confirm.
And then like going to work, black pants, black shoes, black shirt.
Like a thief in broad day.
Am I trying to look nice? I'm like, don't wear all black, you fucking moron. Like have some color, match, like show you have style and you know what like visually appeals to things. I don't know. As I said, I want to get some cross-training shoes.
What's so fancy about them?
So the way you have like lifting shoes, and you'll have like running shoes, and you might have so it's like lifting, running. There's like competitive shoes, like I don't know, like for different types of sports, like that aren't cleats. So like wrestling boots and like things like that.
Oh, okay.
So a cross trainer typically is a shoe that kind of encompasses similar styles for all those things. So it's like you walk in the gym, and whether you're doing plyometric like drills, like sports like drills, or running on the treadmill, or lifting weights, or like doing a fucking Zumba class,
or
like,
rock climbing.
Yeah, or it doesn't matter. They're made just to be like an all-encompassing like shoe. It's kind of like jack of all trades for fitness shoes, but like it's not meant for one thing.
Okay.
So like if you're a power lifter, you're probably gonna want lifting shoes. If you're a long distance runner, like you're doing fucking half marathons on a weekly basis, get some running shoes. Are you a wrestler? Get wrestling shoes. Are you just like a person who goes to the gym and is like, I do a bunch of shit? Let's get cross trainers.
Cross trainers.
Yes.
Ah, all right.
And because I will do like stretching and yoga before my like lifts, and then I'll either alternate between like heavy strength training routines and like muscle building hypertrophy routines, and I'll do cardio after everything. So it's like I have to be able to stabilize myself for stretching, and then lift weights, and then run. So I need a pair of shoes I can do all of that with.
Can you
Take it easy, cool later.
Adios, cool later. Can you reiterate what the hyper stretching is?
Like just flexibility drills, mobility stuff. Sometimes yoga. Depends on what I'm stretching.
Gotcha. Squeeze me.
Like all the fucking spots that are open are just like pizza spots, but I guess they'll have what I want.
Garlic bread.
I kind of want to get some pasta.
Mamma mia!
Yeah, this spot's called House of Pasta.
Well, it's up to you. If you order something, it's kind of like going to Excellent Dumpling House and ordering something other than the dumplings. All right? If you go to House of Pasta and order something other than the pasta, you people have the right, and that is reserved. So people
this spot don't got garlic bread though.
Oh, Kool-Aider, we're trying not to let you down here. You know, I've been very fortunate to have things like brown and black dress shoes. I used to have a pair of black suede shoes, which were just fantastic, but like the heel eventually like wore out after like 3.5, 4 years, and it sucked because they were the most comfortable shoes ever. Yeah.
All right, this spot's got garlic bread. Do you have pastas?
What kind of place is it?
Italian spot.
Italian?
Don't say it like that. That's racist.
Okay, Guinea Dago Wapian?
All right. And canceled.
Hey, mamma mia. Pizzeria, diarrhea.
Terrible. This spot sucks too. Sorry, I'm just on my phone looking at food.
You know,
it's all right. We're winding down a little bit.
Listen, we're trying to make good on Kool-Aider's wish and desire. All right. However, it is not exactly the easiest of tasks.
Apparently,
I had no idea that. I'm pretty sure you've seen this picture where it's like the Miami smile from American History X, where you put your mouth on the curb and he like.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and Ed Norton's character, it's garlic bread, and the guy on the floor, the breads of other countries. So
that's pretty good.
Although I'm pretty sure like Indians have the equivalent of garlic bread, right?
Stop pushing the table.
Toasted naan. All right.
You're gonna hit the camera. That's all.
Are you saying we're gonna get canceled because of this?
No, I'm saying the camera's already being moved.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are we gonna get canceled?
Like now we're not in frame. We're all moved around.
Oh, damn it!
It's okay.
You could blame this on me, ladies and jerks. All right.
No,
Look at me. I'm the president. I'm on a green screen. Look at me. It's totally not a green screen.
Absolutely not. Why would you even think that? All right, cool. This spot's got garlic bread. We're ordering from here. All right, that's it.
Finally, it's about time. Kool-Aider, we are doing you right. What is the name of this location?
Taste of Italy.
Ah.
I've actually gotten them before. They're amazing.
Ah, okay. Are you getting their pasta?
Oh, yeah. The question is, what kind do I specifically want?
Oh, boy.
I typically go with the bolognese, but I don't know if I want that.
Look at him, Mr. Fancy, discriminating against the Sicilians. And he's probably discriminating against Southern. What kind of Italian do you discriminate against? Do you discriminate against like Northern Italians? Do you discriminate against the Italians that are right near Poland?
I don't appreciate you assuming that I discriminate against people.
You discriminate against everybody.
I don't.
Like listen, out of the 17 ethnic groups in Pakistan, like you fucking hate 9, and I don't know why. So I'm just curious if you don't like the Italians near the border, with Switzerland. You know, them honky looking
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't discriminate. I love everybody.
I don't know why you fucking hate the entirety of Ontario and all of its people so much, but
I love everyone pretty equally.
Yeah. I'm sure you do.
Yes.
I've seen otherwise, but I mean,
love them all. Everyone's great. No complaints about any group of people. As far as I'm concerned, we're all just brothers and sisters here, you know? Ain't nothing to be concerned about. You know what I'm saying?
And for whatever reason, I can't tell you why, but like Australians, Monoxus loves Australia, and Australia loves Monoxus, but he can't fucking stand New Zealand. He just every time you mention New Zealand and his presence, like he winces and his skin crawls.
I know what you're talking about. Like I said, I like everyone equally.
Are you
what? What?
Even people from New Jersey?
Yeah, equally. I like everyone about as much as I like the next person.
I'm sure you do.
Yep. Everybody is the same.
Are you saying we all originated from the same continent as well?
No, sure, why not? Can you prove that we didn't? But you can't.
Why you gotta be like that?
I'm just, because I'm busting your balls.
He's busting my visuals. Oh wow, the pasta.
You know what I don't like?
What?
People with active mental illnesses who treat them like a behavioral trait. I don't like those people. Like I'm so bipolar.
Yo, you mean, but some of those people advertise it explicitly on their bios on Twitter, which is kind of a weird thing.
Sometimes they do it in real life too, where it's like, and you're like, and like you can't get an edge word, like a word in edgewise, and then they're just like, oh, I'm sorry, I just have like ADHD, so I just like spout sometimes. And it's like, no, you're just rude. You saw me trying to talk.
But on top of that, some people also use it as an excuse for the same way. Like, okay, I remember tweeting something to the effect of like, like astrology girls be like, sorry I cheated on you and fucked your dad, but I'm an asparagus, so that's what we're like.
Yeah. Well, like this. So like I know people where it's like I'm bipolar. I lash out sometimes, and I'm like, shut up and stop saying that, because literally the other day on the train, like on the way home, there was a guy sitting on the fucking on the seat, and you could tell something was up, and he was having like a mental fucking like break of some kind and getting aggravated and just staring at people across from him, and then he just got up and was talking about how he was a Marine once and how like he'll fuck this guy up, and he's like, yo, square up, fucking fight me, and like going at him. And then, like, kind of came to his senses and sat down. I was like, I'm so sorry. And it's like, that's bipolar. Like, that's mental illness. And then someone's like, I'm sorry, I was mean to you just now. I'm fucking bipolar. And it's like, you're just a bitch. That guy's got a problem. You're just kind of shitty.
I remember tweeting something to the effect of, like, I was getting out the train. And mind you, outside, it was 95 degrees and humid, and there was this homeless man wrapped in blankets, and he said, as I was getting out the train, just looked up and went, I'll stab you.
Pfizer,
and
Pfizer Soze and O'Halley, what's going on?
Pfizer Soze, buenas noches, gracias por tu consideración, and thank you. We've been live for some time, although we usually do go live.
What's going on?
6 p.m. on Saturdays.
If you saw
Eastern
it on Twitter,
Time.
that means you saw this gentleman posting about it.
You can't spell best without est. All right? So thank you for coming on by. Oh, hi, alien. What's going on? I don't know what time zone you are watching this from. Atmos earlier here was 12 hours into the future, but he wouldn't give us lottery numbers smuggled back through his interdimensional viewing of this, courtesy of Twitch. Oh, from the EU. Oh, all right. So we're very sorry we're not using the metric system. You're more than welcome to make all of the corn syrup jokes that you like, and we probably deserve it too. However, the only thing that could stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a hurricane that shoots guns. All right? That's the only thing. So, real quickly, footwear. For what it's worth, it has been difficult to purchase shoes. I mean, like, I don't know if you could tell, but like I'm a size 14, and that makes buying shoes difficult sometimes. Not just like, all right, like sneakers are one thing. You could easily buy size 14 sneakers, but to get like size 14 shoes you wear for a
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you for doing your part, Pfizer Soze. But to wear to get like size 14 shoes for like you wear this with a suit.
Sure, yeah.
Or like size 14 shoes where like you could wear this with like slacks and a blazer and like, you know.
Yeah.
Like it is not pretty. It's daunting, but it is not impossible. But no, I think it's important to have footwear that like there's like dress up footwear, and like for what it's worth, I think it's broken down to like you have to, because you're wearing black shoes, you have to wear a black belt. You can't, you know, come on, there are rules. This is not this is not numb, all right?
I don't know, not anymore.
So
that shit's gone out the fucking window.
So you're gonna wear a black fucking suit with brown shoes?
Here's the thing. The problem with that...
That's not a yes or no answer to a yes/no question.
The problem with that is that it's a matter of who's looking at you. All right?
Okay.
So, like, depends on the environment you're in.
Mm-hmm.
I've said this before. Have you seen how people dress nowadays? People look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, I look good today. And then when they walk outside and they have that moment of like, why is everyone staring at me? And it's like, because you look like a fucking clown. Because you walked outside dressed like a fucking clown. And you chose to do this. So, if I want to wear mismatching like belt and like shoes, I don't think anyone's going to fucking pay any attention when there's someone like right next to me who's wearing like a thong, 12-inch platform heels, and like chains on their chest.
Or cargo shorts and like an Avengers shirt.
But like, you know, just, yeah, or like jorts.
Or jorts. Baggy jorts.
But like, no one gives a shit half the time. As far as just as far as that goes, and as you know, you do you because you came from a different background. Like I've always worn shoes that are comfortable over anything else. That's why I end up buying more than one pair of things because I'll end up being like, these are comfy, but I have different outfits I have to match things with. So I'm gonna buy like different colors of things, and like those shoes last me forever because I have like a black pair and a white pair and a blue pair and a red pair. And it's like I can mix and match them. As
if he is playing the character customization shit that you normally get in video games, but he's doing it in IRL.
But like, since I run and I exercise, like running shoes is a perfect fucking way of doing that. They're not super expensive unless you're getting memed on and you're buying like, buy my $250 basketball shoes to play basketball in and ruin them. Like, why would you do that? I'm going to spend $170 on a pair of running shoes that I'm going to break in and ruin in a couple of months.
Well, I have a question in terms of footwear. So, like, every once in a while you'll see people who are exercising that are wearing those shoes where, like, it fits every toe.
Oh, the toes?
What's that about?
I honestly have never looked into it. I don't fucking understand it. I don't know. I've never actually looked at them or held them. It was weird and trendy for a little while, and I'm sure someone justified it somehow. I don't know. I've never seen it used in a gym setting. I've never seen it used. It's always like there's like one person like at the track and they're wearing them, and it's like, why? Why are you wearing these?
I've always been under the impression that like it would make things harder because like wouldn't you like there's nothing holding your toes together confined?
I'm not sure. I mean, I would imagine the same thing, but like you can run barefoot, I guess, and it doesn't affect your running. In fact, it builds like callus on your feet. You know.
I think it's easier to run with shoes than barefoot, though.
Probably, I think it's more of an adjustment. Like you have to get used to the impact of the floor.
Yeah, but like running on concrete and like
it's gonna hurt.
Rocks and
it's gonna hurt. I don't know. I can't give you a good answer because I've only ever seen them and I don't get it.
Fuck your return to tradition.
But I've also seen people at the gym wearing like flip-flops. I saw a guy come in the other day and he was working with another trainer and he came in like it was cargo shorts, a t-shirt, and like sandals.
Amazing.
To work out. And like I didn't want to say anything. Because I mean when I communicate with people, I tell them, wear something you can work out in.
Right.
It's part of my like, here's my email to you, please wear something that's like exercise clothing related and not fucking sandals and cargo shorts.
So was he just lifting, or did he have to do like jumping jacks and burpees?
I don't know what the routine was. I saw him doing dumbbell presses, and like, granted for that, I guess, I see elderly people wearing. What I swore once was an elderly woman wearing, like those fuzzy slip-on slippers.
Yeah.
She's wearing those, and she was just doing circuits on the machine area. So in that case, I was. Okay, you're just doing machine stuff, like you're not standing and stabilizing yourself, you're not even using your feet, like the machine's doing all the motion for you. Go for it. I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay.
But
is that even burning calories at that point?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're still moving. The machines are still doing, work. It's for people who are, regressed. You don't want to overload them. Honestly, I see people doing deadlifts and things barefoot all the time. And I understand from a mechanical standpoint why they barefoot lift. I've never felt, and I've done both, I've never felt my performance improved by the shoes I was wearing or like ruined by the shoes I was wearing.
Oh.
I've never had a moment of, I wore my running shoes today. Now my deadlifts are going to suffer. No. My heels are driving in that move, and that's about it. And my feet are for stabilization. The shoes don't make a huge difference. Mm-hmm. Maybe at higher levels, sure. But I also work with a guy who's a power lifter, and he wears lifting shoes instead of doing barefoot. When you're doing barefoot, I mean, my concern is always you accidentally kick a weight with your shoes on, no big deal. You kick the weight, you accidentally kick that weight with your shoes off, you just fuck your toes up.
But I imagine if you're going to be powerlifting, like if you're okay, let's say if you do like a...
Imagine being in a gym and seeing a flip-flop fly through the air.
Parzival, what's going on?
Pfizer says I barefoot run using moccasins, not on rocks. Some people,
Ah, okay.
I've seen barefoot running, and I've heard the idea is just to toughen the bottom of your feet up. My issue with that is if you were wearing running shoes, you wouldn't have to toughen the bottom of your feet up. So...
Right, but okay,
why do you need the bottoms of your feet tough?
Okay, take something like deadlifting. Wouldn't you want shoes that provide ankle support? Like,
yes.
So, like, ideally, barefoot is better than wearing Converse if you're deadlifting.
Arguably, but like, is it better to have minimal ankle support
than no ankle support? But, like, in theory, like, all right.
I think it's more a matter of how you train. If you train barefoot the entire time, then you're just developing that raw ankle stability.
Okay.
And then if someone goes, hey, you're having, like, you're plateauing at this number, maybe try using a lifting shoe, which goes usually up past the ankle.
Okay.
I mean, me personally, I'm open to anything that helps somebody improve themselves, so... Even if it's a placebo effect, but it makes you more active, more motivated, or gets your lift up, great. If me yelling at you makes you lift heavier, then you had it in you all along, because realistically, like, lifting heavier is a neuromuscular reaction.
Fat shaming work.
It has nothing to do with me yelling at you. It has to do with you being able to pull the weight and your brain going, hey, muscle, contract now, send signal, do the thing, and then release it.
Exhale.
But if you put on the shoes and you lift better and you feel like the shoes help, I'm never going to go, the shoes didn't help. I'm going to go, yeah, the shoes did it. Great. Numbers are up. Let's keep going.
Pfizer chimes in with it. Has nothing to do with tough feet. It's about stabilizer muscles. No ankle support. But this is, all right, for example, like if you're deadlifting, even if you're wearing like running shoes or sneakers, wouldn't that be better for your ankle support than doing it like barefoot?
I mean, I think, it depends on how you normally train.
Okay. Oh, okay.
If you train barefoot, you're training yourself in that form. So you're building the stability barefoot. And then you put shoes on someone, and now they feel all out of whack, and their balance is off, and they just feel wrong. I could see that happening.
Don't mind me. This mask is killing me. I'm gonna. No, we're good. This mask is killing. This mask is killing me.
But it's metrics kind of based. Pfizer says nothing to do with tough feet. It's about stabilizer muscles. No ankle support. Okay. I don't see how you couldn't just run with shoes and get to stabilize yourself. I don't see how the shoes are impacting stabilization. But I'll take your word for it. I don't get it. There's a reason why. Well, for instance, there's a reason why runners, like at elite level, opt in for very specific running shoes because they genuinely believe, and there has been, whether it's placebo or not, improvements, whether they are by very small fractions of time, based on the shoes somebody is wearing.
Well,
like people who hit a certain PR running wise, and then wear a different pair of shoes, and they perform better.
I might be suggested to believe in otherwise if, let's say, there's like an Olympian athlete who wins barefoot. Then I might be able to,
it's not outside the realm of possibility. But in the same vein as someone who lifts better with a certain pair of shoes, or runs there with a certain pair of shoes, or there are certain aerodynamic things when it comes to running, which I think shoes have changed over time for that. So in that sense, I get it. It's different performance shoes. What are you looking for? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, running shoes are easier to run in. So it, depends on what you're going for, performance or not. The same way, if someone really wanted to train stabilizing muscles, there are certain routines you can do you can do stability training. It's a style of training.
Really? So like, what kind of exercises can you do to strengthen your ankles?
You can do certain stretches just so you can open them up properly. If you want to strengthen them, you can do single leg stuff. You're putting more of that weight onto it. You're training yourself proprioceptively.
Oh, okay.
Also, a lot of people, when they do certain exercises, don't plant their feet. A lot of it is learning to plant your feet properly. People will raise their heels slightly, so you have to work on that. And a lot of leg work is going to naturally strengthen your ankles and help you with support.
Is the Astro over there?
Yes.
Very sorry to bother you.
But it's one of those things where when you're training someone, you don't have to put and then we're going to do ankle work or calf work. Certain things are just intrinsically trained when you do other movements. It's part of the conditioning.
Pfizer, have you had dinner yet? Earlier in the stream, we had been eating Grippos. You see, Madman
Pfizer says, tie a weight to your foot and rotate it.
Ooh.
Good work.
Thank you. That sounds like a viable option. Tie a weight to your foot and rotate it.
I wouldn't do it, but go for it. But this is the same thing as people who did, what was it, neck hangs?
We were eating up on some Grippos. You see, this was provided to us by Madman Muzan, a.k.a. El Primo. And we had been eating these things. This is all that...
Go ice skating without tying your skates.
This is all that survived. So... Now, hang on. Well, okay, but what about people who don't have access to ice skating equipment or a body of ice? What then? Wouldn't you be able to do what are they called? Pistols, where you just your one-footed squat.
Pistol squats,
and your foot is
Yeah, you can do pistol squats.
Would that strengthen your ankle?
Sure.
Okay, I can get behind that. Could you eventually get strong enough where you're doing pistol squats with weights?
Yeah, of course.
But then you'd have to be super strong to use that, right?
Well, I know a guy who's actively trying to do that, and I remember when we were talking, because he was I'm really trying to do I forgot what weight he said, but he's I'm trying to get my pistol squat to this certain weight, and my only thought was why? To what effect do you need to do pistols? What do you do that requires that as a mode of training, other than you just want to do it? And it was I just want to do it thing. And I was okay, so you have no reason for it. It's when I meet people and they're I want to get my lifts, I want to get stronger. And I'm okay, for a reason? Or do you just have this generic strength concept?
Right.
And they're oh, I just want to lift heavy. And it's but you have no reason to do so. So you're putting yourself on this training route with me based on an arbitrary number that means nothing. Like, I know powerlifters, and I help them out sometimes because they're trying to compete. They need to pick heavy thing up.
Right.
It's like, oh, I want to lose weight and get stronger. Those two adaptations are counterproductive to each other. If you're like obese, you could put on, you can gain strength and lose fat.
Right.
But like, what's the priority here? Because getting stronger needs to, like, what are you applying it to? I strength train because, again, for me, it's a straight up vanity thing. Like, I will admit, I do it because I want to pick up heavier shit. So when I hear that, I'm like, great, that's an act, like, I'll take that. But when they just come in and they're like, I just want to be stronger, explain what you mean by that. Why? For what?
Do they ever just stand there?
No, I mean, people always have a reason, but you have to probe people. I want to get stronger comes from somewhere. What made you want to get stronger? Because then you have some people who are like, oh, I want to compete, like, in fighting. Like, I want to be like, whatever, UFC or some shit. And then for some reason they have this idea of, I have to get, like, these bigger, I gotta do, like, biceps curls or something. And no, you don't. Oh, I gotta do a bunch of chest press. No, you fucking don't. Why? You're gonna be fighting people? A lot of your momentum comes from the way your core, what's it called? What's the term? It, transmits force. So it's through your hips and through your back and through your shoulders and your triceps. You're gonna punch someone, it's coming from the hip.
You're gonna have to train with Mickey. You're better off training with Mickey from Rocky.
But these people go, oh, I want to, like, I have to do chest and biceps. And these aren't transmitting your blows.
Do they help?
Your hips are. I mean, they look nice. It's always good to have more musculature. It helps with impact. But, like, from a fighting standpoint, are you talking about dealing blows? You want to have less mass on you because you move slower when you're heavier.
Touché.
You want to minimize your weight gain while also increasing force production because you want to deliver a strong blow, not have big muscles. I can bench 225 and your punches are slower because your chest is bigger. Because you can't properly get your arms out because you've got too big of a chest now because you did fucking hypertrophy training.
If memory serves me correctly, all right, there's this I'm pretty sure I might have mentioned this before, but like there's this YouTube channel where like a guy he like lost a bunch of weight, got really fit, and a theme or like a gimmick he has in his YouTube channel is where he'll try like a famous athlete or competitor's like regimen for one day.
Yeah.
So like he did Mike Tyson's, and it turns out like Tyson didn't mess with weights until like near the end of his career. In fact, like when he was a champ, like for starters, like wake up at 4, start running. And like that was like more than anything, he was like it was mental because for him it was like I'm up training while my opponent is still asleep.
Yeah.
Right. Then he would pick like an exercise like a punch, like a jab or like a 1-2 or an uppercut. So then he would do like 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 neck bridges, 100 squats. He would do like a circuit of 100, and then practice the uppercut over and over and over and over and over. And then another circuit, practice the uppercut over, and another circuit, practice the uppercut, and another circuit. And eventually, it wasn't until he got like 1,000 push-ups a day he was doing at one point. Like, which, like, that, but like, look at the guy.
Yeah.
Did you see the fucking size of this guy when he was competing? That is terrifying.
That's another, like, even if you look at Tyson, like, was he big for, for his weight class, he was pretty big, but, like, by the standard of how much muscle and mass you can put on, he wasn't that big.
Right.
For what he was doing, yeah, he was big. But he wasn't, like, yoked, which wouldn't be beneficial. I've also seen UFC fights. I don't know the guys' names because I never quite paid this shit. But like, I've seen guys who walk into the octagon and they're these like jacked, chiseled, ripped dudes, and then the guy across from them is like kind of skinny fat looking, but like he's mobile and he has muscle underneath all of that, but he's not ripped as shit. And that fucking muscle bound jerk gets destroyed because they can't move.
I remember seeing there's this guy. His nickname is Big Country, and he fights out of Las Vegas. And he's this like paunchy looking heavyweight guy who knocks people out and eats Whoppers in the ring. Like you could tell he works out. Like he has like form.
Yeah.
He just like he doesn't. He makes the other guy look like a fucking G.I. Joe action figure. Like compared to his physique. And like first round knockouts are like his thing kind of. He just like he has a jaw made of stone, and then
it's all connects. It's all force production. It's all power. Because power and strength are not the same thing.
Although I imagine like technique is like, what if like, all right, like you could, okay, if you have good technique, would being able to bench press well help you in your technique to punch someone?
If the punch you're throwing is from the chest, but like how many punches do you?
I only ask because like
how many strikes do you throw that are from the chest?
I only ask because like there was a fighter in early UFC, and like granted he wasn't like you would figure someone would be better, because I imagine like when it makes
maybe like Muay Thai.
I mean, like, maybe, okay, because hear me out. Like, there used to be this fighter named Tank Abbott, and he used to do things like bench 400 plus and, like, do all, and, like, he beat people into seizures. like,
well, I'm not saying it's going to hurt.
But his technique was just, like, swinging for the fences until you went down.
Yeah,
and, like,
just throwing his body at you. That's different, though. Okay. If we're talking about technique, it depends on what you're training for. Look at someone like Bruce Lee, which is a weird example, but he's like one of the most technical fighters that people know of.
Right.
And he was skinny as shit.
He was shredded, though.
Shredded, but he didn't have a lot of muscle on him. When he threw an arm out, there was nothing getting in the way. Everything was firing perfectly. Everything was moving fluidly because he was trained to do what he did. You don't see a lot of dudes. I'm trying to think of a movement where, because like a bench press is not just like your pecs, it's your like lats are helping with it, your delts are helping with it, the rotator cuff in general is stabilizing it, your triceps can be helping push it, you can focus more on the chest. Mm-hmm. But think of that movement, right?
Right.
I guess a punch forward kind of benefits from it, but realistically it's different when you're trying to lift weight off of you versus standing and throwing something forward.
Yes.
That's coming more from the tricep and the shoulders. And then when you want more force in it, you turn from the hip to deliver more force. And now you're taking your chest out of it completely. You know what I mean? So unless you're, I don't know, you're in the ring and now you're on the floor and you're just going to start like swinging up.
You're going to bench press your opponent off.
Or yeah, pick someone off of you. That's the thing. It's like when I was talking to a buddy of mine and we were talking about, when you train new people. And he had a client where the guy was like, I want to learn to bench press. And my buddy was like, why? He's like, oh, because like I've always seen it. People do it. He's like, when was the last time you were laying on your back and picked something up off of you? And he was like, well, not very often. He was right. So why did you bench press? It's a movement pattern you don't need to train. I want a bigger chest. All right, different story. We can do push-ups. Push-ups train the chest.
That's true.
It's a bit more functional. You're more likely to have to pick yourself up off the floor than to push something off of you.
Now, exactly how translatable is that, though? Like, if you only did bench press and you have to pick yourself up off the floor, you would have an advantage, though, would you?
Sure. It would still be training the muscle. But the idea is, what do we have to use to get you there, and minimizing the use of something.
Okay.
I can just have you do push-ups for multiple sets and keep increasing the reps, and then add weight to your back. And make the push-ups harder. Raise your feet up, things like that. Change the grip. But, I mean, I personally don't mind training people on bench. I think it's useful. But I come from a weight training background. He comes from a body weight training. So he was like, why do you want to train bench press? And the guy couldn't give him an answer. Just other than, like, I want to train bench press because I've seen people do it. And it was like, I want to develop my chest. We can do push-ups. We can use cables. I can teach you with dumbbells. We can do kettlebells. Like, what is it about the barbell that you want to learn? Because you're not explaining the reason why you want to use the barbell. Granted, he was like razzing the guy, but the point was you don't need to use that movement. And then the comparison of you're more likely to need that fly motion and that pushing off the ground motion in a functional way,
right? Than
lying on your back and picking something.
Well, I imagine the flying motion would be great for like hooks, right?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Ah.
So it's about the functionality. What movement are they going to be doing? Which is why you always try and be like, well, why are you training? I have a guy who's playing basketball and he wants to train, so I'm like, okay, I want to work my upper body. And I was like, we're going to work on it, but I'm going to try and implement upper body routines that are focused on the idea of your shooting mechanics and your ability to guard better, like reaction time with your arms,
right?
And that upward throw. Why am I going to make you do bench press and make yourself bigger when I can be like, here's a 20-pound medicine ball, now throw it to me?
All right.
Do a chest pass with a medicine ball. I'm still working your chest, but you're practicing that throwing motion for passes. Except you're doing it with a 20-pound ball, so now when you get a fucking basketball in your hand, that's going to be lightning.
I got you. It's like he's passing with the turbo buff.
Yeah. Why are you going to bench press? Chest pass with a fucking medicine ball. And then leg drills, like I want to do, we're going to do like squats, maybe lightweight squats just to condition your legs for endurance. We're not going to do like heavy weight training squats. We're going to mostly do like drills. That'll make your ass move. Make you do split squats with your fucking knee touching, like your calf touching your thigh, so you can work on that like elasticity in your knee for a higher jump.
Ah.
And then make you do fucking box jumps, bitch.
Oh no.
Yeah. Because you're jumping and you're passing a ball and you're shooting the ball. I want to train those movement patterns, but with weighted things.
All right, question. All right. If you had to boil down your personal routine into like 5 exercises, what would they be?
Well, I do strength training. So bench press, deadlift, squat, overhead press, and planks.
Touche. Ah, okay.
I'm doing everything.
Touche. What do deadlifts work?
Hip hinging, mostly like hip movements, so hip flexors. You can hit your glutes with them. Erector spina muscles, like the back muscle here. Depending on how you do them, you can be hitting hamstrings and quads. Big lower body movements. Mostly, okay. It's mostly for the hips though. Hips and like the lower back.
Ah, all right.
Yeah.
Now, like how would deadlifting translate to like cage fighting, for example?
Picking somebody up possibly. Because
okay.
like that hinging movement, that's when you pick someone up. Although deadlifting is something where it's more about hip health. Or hinging movements in general. I train hinging patterns. You don't have to do deadlifts. Like actual barbell deadlifts is more of a vanity thing, if anything, because that's a completely unnecessary to deadlift like fucking 3 plates or 4 plates, whatever. It's awesome, but it's unnecessary for most people.
And on top of that, it's like, what is up with people deadlifting and puking?
Or bleeding. Or passing, because it's heavy. It's fucking hard. But like people take for granted their hip health. So like their hip mobility, flexibility, and strength. It's why when you get to an older age, you're like, my fucking lower back hurts and my hip hurts and everything cracks. Because your hips are not mobile and they're not strong. So train that hip motion so that when you're older, you don't feel creaky and weak.
Ah.
Because your hips are going to go.
Well, couldn't you train?
Push-ups are like barefoot running. Think about it. Because this, well, like, there's less impact.
Are you trying to get Monoxus to do Earth Downs, Pfizer?
Yeah, Pfizer. I mean, I get where you're coming from, but there's less, like, maybe like the clapping push-ups would be like barefoot running, because as you're coming like up, you're doing the off clap and then impact to the floor. Because then there's at least movement. Or you can do, I forgot what they're called, but like, you basically do like push-up, raise your hand, push up, raise your hand, push up, raise your hand.
Okay. Question now. What are exercises that let's say like a 300-pound guy walks up to you and he's just like, I want to lose weight.
Sure.
What do you make him do?
And like we're talking, he's not mobile at all, right?
He walks.
Okay.
He walks to the train and he walks to work and back, or I suppose that's what I suppose.
Well, it's like, all right, so first off, you can't get that, you don't want to put that person on their back at all, and kneeling's probably going to be difficult. Probably cable stuff, it's the easiest to do standing. I would probably want to regress it more, or just do super light. Things with like dowels. Seriously, like because you just want to get them moving, and because like they can't properly lunge, they don't have the mobility for it.
Right.
They can't do maybe step ups would be possible. It depends on the mobility of the person, because some people are like 300 pounds and super mobile, they can move around.
Right.
Some are 300 and they can't fucking step upstairs. If you can get up 5 stairs, you can do step ups. And I can make you do step ups all day. Even hip hinging patterns can be done. You put a dowel on their back and make them bend forward and bend back up. And then bend forward and bend back up.
No, they could do stairs.
Bend forward and bend back up.
All right, like...
So step ups, step up on that, step down on that, step down, alternating legs. And then there are some machines where it's like cables and you can attach weight to it and they hold it. And as they step up, there's resistance. You can use resistance bands the same way. I would like to get them doing push-ups as soon as humanly possible. But again, that amount of weight is hard because they might not be able to get back up.
What is it about push-ups that you want them to get on, though?
It's just so it's a good movement pattern. Start training, and they're easy.
Why not bench press?
Easier to do a push-up than to put weight off of yourself. Again, at that weight, it's different though because they're super heavy, which is why it's hard to do.
Ah, okay.
You want to try and not force them to have to move a weight in a natural way. If they're mobile, that means they can stand, and they can probably bend over, which means they can bend their knees, they can bend their hips, presumably, and they can lift their hands over their head. And those are like the most natural patterns you're going to get them into most likely. To get them on their back and then benching means having to get them up off the bench. And that's just uncomfortable. So you just try to avoid it.
Okay.
The same way, like, I don't want to put them on their hands and feet and try and get them to do push-ups and then have them have an uncomfortable time getting back up.
Oh.
And you said like 3 exercises. So a knee movement, so step-ups, a hip hinging movement, maybe like I said, dowel hip hinge, something easy, and then some kind of like, or an overhead movement. Again, something with a dowel overhead, and then just have them and like lean into it, or using the dowel, doing like
the exercise stick.
Yeah, because you can get weighted dowels. It just means they don't have to lay down or fucking be on their stomach.
Oh, okay.
No
like how heavy do the dowels get?
Depends. You can get fucking. I mean, technically, a Olympic bar is just a big heavy dowel. Technically, it's just a heavy ass bar. You know, so.
How effective is a lifting bar as a melee weapon? Very.
If you could swing it, like a fucking 40-pound Olympic bar, swing that shit. That shit's heavy.
Wouldn't you need to put like duct tape on the bottoms for a grip?
I mean, the issue that because I play around with the fucking. Did the Grippos make Haynes hang up his mask? The mask is uncomfortable. The fucking chips didn't help.
hey, listen, I've yet to shave, and it makes my fucking face super mega incredibly itchy.
But like, I have to move barbells all the time because people can move them around and shit.
Right.
A 40-pound bar is not easy to just pick up. I mean, you can. It's not like it's difficult, but it's not easy to like hold and wield. You usually have to hold them two-handed and from like a center. The second you're holding that shit from the base, you're now having to balance 40 fucking pounds of weight. So it's hard to stabilize.
So you'd have to use it like a bow staff.
You can use 2 hands, yeah. I mean, if you're, granted, stronger people can probably very easily wield that thing. I see guys who are doing 100-pound dumbbell moves. So if I handed them a fucking 40-pound bar, the length might be difficult because holding like that weight so close to your center of gravity is a lot easier. Adding that extra length makes it harder because now it's like hanging out.
It's an extension of your strength.
And gravity is like putting weight on the end of it as well. So it's like harder. But I'm sure they could pick it up and hold it. And if they really wanted to, like
they could swing it.
Adrenaline kicks in and they're trying to hurt somebody, they're gonna swing it. Me, I would probably go with something a little lighter and more mobile. But there are lighter bars. And I have like 10-pound dowels. That's still gonna hurt like.
No, are there like so a lifting bar is 45 pounds.
An Olympic bar, yeah, 40 pounds.
So are there 40-pound dowels?
I think at least where I'm at, there's what were they? We have like wooden dowels, which I'm pretty sure are just like a pound or two, like standard wooden rod. And then there are these, they're like metal, and I don't know if they're filled with sand or if they're just like metal rods inside of it. But I think we have, it was 9 pounds. It's like 10 pounds, 15, and 20, I think. And I think like a standard bar, which is like the thinner bars for like cheaper weightlifting sets, those are usually like 20-ish pounds. So our dowels go up to where like a standard bar is.
All right.
And then we have like an even longer one, which is lighter because of the like length of it. Because it's way harder to balance something with that kind of length.
So if you were to go to a gym anywhere in the world, they would all be using the same standard issued Olympic lifting bar?
Presumably, yes. If they use Olympic weight, like Olympic bars.
Oh, what are the non-Olympic bars?
Standards.
What does that mean?
Cheaper, thinner, don't handle as high of grade. Still effective, and they use different plates. Like, you've seen the Olympic bars, how they have, like, the big fucking ends on them?
Yeah.
That's because the plates have the bigger openings. Standard bars have, like, a smaller slot in them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
but I think most commercial gyms opted for Olympic bars in general.
Wait, okay, question. So for like dumbbells, does it matter if they're spherical or if they're like hexagonal or octagonal or like?
What happened?
So like dumbbells.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Oh, who's talking shit?
So Muzan said, I need an answer though, boys out of here. 10 of these, the best barbecue chips this side of Mississippi on the Ohio River. They're the best barbecue chips. I think we can agree on that.
Yeah, we could agree on that.
And then Wild Goose is like, man, I thought there was going to be fucking jazz. And Muzan's like, there is hot jazz. I mean, look at Monoxus, for crying out loud. Here's the thing. Everything is jazz, right? Is that not the old idea? Like, everything's a little bit of jazz.
What Julius Irving did on the court was jazz. And when Wild Goose alt is clickety clacking on the computer, that's jazz.
Jazz is just our way of saying there's going to be a little bit of free form going on, and Twitch is stupid and gave us a jazz option, so it's in there. So
they got rid of spoken word like jerks.
Oh no, it's in there. It's in there. It's like it's reading aloud or some shit. Whatever. Point is, jazz is just our way of saying it's gonna go a little off the rails sometimes. There's gonna be a little bit of a free form.
Yeah, there's no going off the rails tag, so we've had to settle for jazz.
Jazz works because everything's a little bit of jazz. Once it gets smooth and free, it's jazz. Once the topics are done and we're talking about gym equipment, it's like now we're jazzing.
So question. So like, does it matter if dumbbells are spherical or if they're like a hexagonal? Like,
I don't think so. I mean, I've never had an issue with either or. I imagine if someone does, they probably have some crazy stability issues. But I would imagine that's more based on the weight. I don't know. I guess it's a manufacturer's thing. The only thing that made a difference for me is like the adjustable weights, because that's like what I have is like adjustable dumbbells at home.
Right.
The ones you have to add the plates onto, and when they get loose, they're like a bit shaky, which can throw you off a little bit. But I mean, once you know what you're dealing with, it's not that bad. So I would say like the dumbbells that you have at gyms, where it's like the solid, like either plastic or whatever it's made out of, those are nice because they're a solid piece and they're not going to be shaky or having to be readjusted and shit.
Oh, okay.
It's the same idea as like if you lift a heavy lift with a bunch of plates and then do you put the clips on at the end to lock the weights in place, or can you stabilize it and not have them sliding and shaking? If you can't stabilize it and you're tilting back and forth, for starters, you shouldn't be lifting that weight because you can't stabilize it. But some people will go, I'll just throw the clips on.
I have a question for Queen Sex Man. How come people get injured so often in fucking CrossFit?
What happened?
How come people get injured so often doing CrossFit?
I don't know a whole lot about CrossFit, but from what I've seen, as far as the injuries go, a lot of the training they do, I want to put the right word on it, but I'm just going to go with is asinine. So you have your body likes to move in straight lines for the most part. Like almost at all times, your body is doing these different either parallel movements with itself, because at the end of the day, like your entire spine is a straight line down, and then your arms are straight lines, your legs are straight lines, and you know when you're doing like a squat, your back is straight, and then your knees come out straight, and then your like tibia into your feet is like parallel with the spine. And then like your thighs and your feet, like everything likes to run parallel with something because that's how your body moves.
Okay.
Because of how joints are. And then in CrossFit, they'll be like, all right, so you know how when you do a pull-up, you have your hands locked, and the idea is like now pull with your like upper back and your arms a bit and your shoulders and keep your body straight, and then go to the top of it, get your head over, and then lower yourself down. They're like, all right, so while you're doing that, like bend your back a little bit and like kick yourself forward and then like curve up as you go into it and then like launch yourself back.
I'm doing my part.
Thank you. Here for the viewer.
Here for the viewer, thank you for doing your part. We appreciate you coming on by. As Monoxus tells us not to get kidney damage from doing CrossFit.
So like, and it's not all of CrossFit. But it's things like, that's not the way the body moves. Like, the weird fucking, like, why are you shotgunning your body forward like that? That's a good way to hurt your rotator cuff, because you're just fucking... No, it's not supposed to move that way. Also, form things. I think I've heard, like, CrossFit just kind of pushes the idea of these, like, rapid circuits. And the movement, it's more about just putting in the effort and less about, like, let's take our time with this and do the movement properly. I have a guy who I'm working with who is an old CrossFitter, He was like, I don't know why, but like my bench and my overhead press like haven't gone up at all. I'm like stagnant with them. And then we did an assessment, and I was like, you know, you have a shoulder impingement at your right shoulder, right? Have you ever been doing like things during like what do you do? Are you like shoulder dominant? He's like, kind of. I do a lot of like the overhead like swinging stuff with like my right arm. And I'm like, did they have you doing both sides? He's like, not really, because we're just doing like the swing overhead. And I'm like, right, but if you're transmitting force, like you're using two hands, but most of the force is coming from your right fucking arm, like you need to switch your grip and then swing from the other side. You have to alternate.
But that's day one shit.
Right, but if you're just fucking like, hit the tire with the hammer and then do the fucking weird pull-up and get down and do push-ups, now do fucking squats, and it's like you're not paying attention to form because you're just running through these stupid circuits. Instead of being like, all right, we're going to bench, take your time. Okay, make sure you're retracting your scapula. Okay, make sure that when your arms are going down, they're not flaring out. Move your wrists. Like,
question, does running help your hips at all?
Sure, running helps everything.
Everything.
Kind of. Because everything starts at the ankles.
Okay.
And then if your ankles are stable and your knees are properly lubricated from joint action and can move properly, and your hips are nice and fluid, well, that's going to go up to the rest of your spine. You're going to move nice. I don't know. When one thing moves properly, if you train everything else, it all moves properly.
I'm going to use the restroom. I will be right back.
I'm going to bother with chat for a little while. Our food should also be here soon, so get your ass over here so we can wrap things up.
Gotcha. All right. I'll be right back, ladies and jerks.
Let's see. I don't think it makes a difference in the long run, just a matter of distribution of weight. I think the plates are generally more stable if you're just moving along one axis. I like plates. I don't mind them. Some people are discomforted by them. I have some people who, what's it called? They have, like, flexibility and I think it's like she was overly flexible, like because of like almost like the double jointed shit. So when she loads a barbell onto her wrists like bend back a lot. So it's just like barbells are just not an option. So that's a thing. If you're doing rotational stuff, spherical stuff might be better. Yeah, it depends. I work out, run to wherever my fantasy wife is. Sometimes it's Taylor, sometimes it's Lana. Sometimes I'm eating pizza. Running's the only thing I'm like. I can zone out when I run. Hell yeah. I mean, I can zone out during both, but I think during lifting is like you have to engage yourself to do it. It also depends on why you lift and how you're lifting. For me, because I'm doing more strength training than anything else, just seeing my numbers go up every week keeps me focused. And then all of the accessory shit afterwards is more the part where I'm like, I don't want to do this shit. I also would rather swim than run, personally, but running is just the easiest thing to do because you can do it fucking everywhere. So it's a lot easier just to get into a running habit. Oh yeah, they just like get into the zone. Did you stop, Cat? That's the thing, though. I mean, it depends on for me the distance. If I do a shorter run, like I'm doing aerobic intervals and I'm actively working on like heart rate training, that shit's tedious because I'm constantly changing. But when I go on like a long distance run, after like the first mile or so, then I can tune into it and just keep going because you get into that, like you said, I get into that zone, that runner's high. You can kind of get that too if you're weight training, but you're doing circuits. It's how I see people, how I understand people can get lost doing certain routines, which like going back to the whole, what's it called? CrossFit thing. If you're doing these constant circuits and constant motion, you can totally get in the zone and not pay attention to what you're doing properly. So, much like a runner's situation.
Oh, go away, cat.
Hold on. Yeah. But anyway, our food should be here in a few minutes. Cat, stop. You know what you're doing.
Listen, unemployment cat knows better, all right? Ever since the economy shat the bed and went comatose again, all right? This cat has been up to nothing but trouble.
Take shrooms before a run for ultimate runner's high. I don't know if I can run on shrooms, to be honest.
Imagine some bullshit like lifting on acid. Why would you?
I don't know. I'm sure people do it, like low doses of acid and mushrooms you can do stuff on. It depends on how much you're doing.
Imagine there's some jerk out there who's like, no, we're gonna have like 4 hits of acid and lift, and like an hour and a half
like
into
you're not even lifting. That's why I'm like, if I take mushrooms, I'm very, even like acid, I'm very much like higher dosages. I'm very much the kind of person who just melts into a fucking bed or a sofa and is like, I'm good. Like I'm just gonna hang out, put something on the fucking TV while I stare out at things in like space. 1 hit of acid? I've gone out on 1 hit of acid and functioned. Would I want to exercise? No.
It would be such a waste.
Fun, yeah. Like I'd fucking just like sitting there like zoning out on weights. I'd be like, I'm leaving.
And then like you feel like your face buzzing, and you're like, this isn't doing anything for me.
Well, my dad got me into running because he was a marathoner. I was kind of fat in freshman year. He had me doing 5Ks the next summer. Got me in shape enough for basic training, so I wasn't winded all the time. That's good.
Oh, that's nice. I really dig that.
Trying to get my heart rate down. I'm tired of it being as high as it is. It's not like in a danger zone, but like I want my heart rate to be lower. I'm trying to work on that right now, but
although like but I've always been curious as to where exactly like there is overlap in terms of like, okay, like just because you could bench press your weight, like can you help move a sofa up a flight of stairs?
Depends on all right, so pick up the weight, different story. Because like, are you picking the sofa up from the ground?
Yes.
It's not a bench press.
That's a squat.
Or a deadlift, depending on how you're picking it up.
Well, that's true.
So that's more your lower body. Stabilizing it and holding it, that's more your shoulders. The chest is there, but like if you're just gonna hold the weight up, all that weight's pulling on like your rotator cuff. It's pulling your shoulders. Your arms are helping with it.
Right.
Your upper back. Your chest, again, your chest is still helping with part of it, but like, you want to see like your bench press translate into something. When you're laying
punch
in bed
someone
with your girl or your guy, and you have like you have a body weight bench press or higher, when you're like laying on top of you, just like pick a thing up, like push something off of you, push an object.
That is, and listen, like that is why. No, well, oh no, hang on. Wouldn't pushing someone help with the bench press, right? Like, let's say if you're just going to take a running start and push someone, wouldn't that help?
Well, here's the thing. You said running start?
No, it's just standing there.
If you're just standing there, yes, that pushing option is there. So if you're just standing face to face, you're like, push. Yeah, bench press helps.
Thank you for your time, my friends. Pfizer, thanks for coming on by, homie. Dude, that's a whole thing. Big difference between lifting something up and down and running up 3 flights of stairs with it. Yeah. No peanut butter. God damn it, El Primo. Makes me think.
That's also a factor. Like, are you carrying the couch up steps? Because now, great, you did all this strength training, you got these huge quads and these huge hamstrings, and your glutes are super trained, and you can deadlift 3 plates, or 4 plates, and you can squat 4 plates, and you're like, I'm fucking huge. And you did no endurance training, so you get up 1 flight of steps, and you're like, I gotta take a break. Because the muscle can move the weight very quickly in one motion, but it can't sustain that movement for a long period of time. Because all you did was strength train. Your muscles tire very quickly, they fatigue, like that. Good at like power, like I can get that fucking sofa up! But then who's going to carry it? Not your ass, because you didn't do endurance training.
Touche. Oh,
okay. You got to balance your training out.
Oh, today I learned.
You can't just do one type of training. But this is also why when you meet with trainers or someone gives you a routine, it's why a lot of people are like, I'm just going to Google the routine. And it's like, you realize the routine that you're doing was developed for another person with specific goals. Not your goals, and not your body type, and not your starting point. So maybe like adjust it to where you're at and think about what you want and then take advice from other places. You know what I mean? Like you have to move things around.
What do you want that of? Well, what the hell did the box go? Oh, just putting the chips back. Hang on, hold on. Sorry about the floor, by the way. Listen, Wild Goose Live. Well, I mean, listen, I know it's Wild Goose Alt, and then yes, but hear me out. TLDR, that fellow over there in chat, Madman Muzan, he sent us a pound of barbecue potato chips. Grippo's are quite possibly the best goddamn barbecue potato chip this side of the Mississippi. It was absolutely fantastic. And it had like you know.
ADH or dehydrate, by the way.
All right, you need to help me out, my friend.
Why do I gotta do it?
Fine. Look, you're making me get up off of my chair, ADH, you jerk.
You did it like twice already, and now you're gonna complain?
Oh, this is the second time? You haven't even typed anything, you double jerk.
No. I'm saying you. You got up twice to get your own water.
All right.
And now you're mad you got to get your own water.
I'm just picking on ADH.
Gonna buy some Grippos and Raid Shadow Legends. Don't do that. Don't do that. What timing, A of the H?
A of the H is 12 hours into the future.
That's right.
Now hang on.
But now A of the H is, because like the food's gonna be here, and we're gonna have to wrap, and like A of the H just got here.
Oh, well, what if he's about
Feels bad.
What if he's about to redeem Orthorexia nervosa?
Different story, you know. That's not my problem.
A of the H, we appreciate you coming on by. We had ordered dinner, and we're on the tail end of discussing nonsense like current events, accents, footwear, and party etiquette.
And a long talk about gym-related stuff. Different modalities of exercise.
A of the H was hanging out in the 80s, back when there was pure cocaine. Just seeing shit like Iron Maiden live. Totally unimpressed.
Oh, man. Pointer on party etiquette. If you throw up on the floor at a party full of people, what do? People you don't know, apologize. If there's someone who's clean, like if it's like a, I don't know, is it like a club party? Is it like a house party?
Well, like, first of all, if this is like a house party, you should offer to clean it up at the very least. Like, you have to clean up yourself.
But also seek out the host so that you can get the proper things to clean it up, and you're not just like, give me some paper towels. Like, it's puke. It's you want to soak up stuff.
If you puked, you have to eat it back up.
Just gotta eat it, dude.
That's party etiquette for you right there.
Yeah, just clean up your own fucking
In fact, when you puke, you should ask for a bowl and a spoon.
Give me the spoon.
Eat it off the floor. Soak it up with some bread. Like,
oh. Terrible.
That's what you should do for a party.
I would say clean it up. We kind of touched it a little bit where we were like, if you make a mess at someone's party, don't be that guy who just doesn't say anything, and now there's this like who's who of like who puked in the sink, or like who pissed in the fucking like corner of the bathroom. Like, if you gotta do fucking something stupid like that, you're gonna do it, but then clean up after yourself and forewarn, like, if you puked in the sink and you're like, fuck, we're gonna clean this, go to the host and be like, listen, dude, I fucking vomited in the sink, like, where can I, like, you've like...
What do I, how can I fix this?
I would like to clean it.
Who's shit in the top part?
Nah, see, that's intentional. That's intentional right there.
Who stole the welcome mat in the front, in the front door?
Well, AFH wants some party etiquette pointer. What were some of the highlights of party etiquette that we can think of?
Don't come empty-handed.
Yeah, don't come empty-handed. Play nice, obviously.
Right. Don't be weird. All right.
Yeah. And like, you know, yeah, just don't be awkward weird. You can be like awkward, but don't be like awkward and weird. I guess don't bring anything that you weren't okayed to bring, because that kind of covers like drugs, people, objects, like just things in general where it's like, if you weren't told like this is fine, don't bring it. Don't show up with your buddy who no one invited and like a fucking bunch of Xanax that no one wants you to do.
Right. Don't show. Okay. Like, if you were told you can come by, don't bring your friend who is a stranger to these people who is on a lot of ketamine. All right.
Yeah, things like that. You want to stop, cat? There you go.
Oh, nice. The cat ended up. Wow.
Took him a second to figure out he could climb. He was kind of stood there getting stuck.
If it's in your house, it's yours. Yeah, that's right. You should just use a towel and wring it out into your mouth.
That's something I would say. Kind of a mutual thing between host and guest.
Can we show him an unemployment cat?
I gotta grab the cat. He's up there now.
Okay.
When he comes down. If you're the host, don't leave things out you don't want touched in your house, because people are gonna get fucked up and they're gonna touch your stuff. You got valuables? Hide them. You have a room you don't want them in? Close and lock the door. You have a liquor cabinet you don't want getting rummaged through? Hide that liquor.
Or just lock it.
Yeah, because there's a good chance that people are going to get their hands on it. And on the other side, as a good guest, ask.
All right, I'm gonna get the cat.
You know, like, oh, I see you have booze that is not the booze that was settled on for the like the party. Can I have some? I would like to, bang my girlfriend. Can I use said room, similar to the party we went to. I'd like to smoke a cigarette on the inside of this apartment. May I smoke it in the bathtub by the window?
Yes. All right. So the cat wants nothing to do with this. So we're just gonna let the cat loose. All right.
Well, there was a cat.
Up yours, cat. I hope you got to see the cat. All right, Wild Goose Live.
He's a piece of shit. And now he wants out.
Yeah, he's a real big jerk. No, fuck the cat. Unemployment cat is hustling, looking for jobs to get play stock options. Yeah, and like, an unemployment cat is willing to overlook they don't got a dental, but like, up to what point do they start matching on your 401k? That's what unemployment cat wants to know. Oh, hey, you take that back, Madman Muzan. He is unemployed.
I gotta use the bathroom. I don't want these fucking people calling me that I'm not here.
Ah, deal. All right, so he's a kind of like, oh yeah, he's a DJ, even though he bartends 3 or 4 days out the week. Like, it depends. I mean, like, unemployment cat, for all you know, unemployment cat is just like dealing drugs and like buying and selling crypto. Like, green arrow go up, red arrow go down, and just compulsively checking his phone on Binance. And then in fact, when unemployment cat first heard word that Elon Musk had crashed the market with Dogecoin, he equated looking at Binance as the equivalent of self-harm. All right, so I just like having my own space. Now, hold on, hang on. Yeah, I had a roommate situation in Maryland where we all rented a house, parties all the time, people just going in and out of people's rooms at will. Not cool. It was a cool big house though. I just like, that must have sucked though, where it's like at a random party, just like, I'm just gonna see what's going on in here. And imagine like you didn't want a party and you're just like, hey, I'm just gonna like read Plato in my room, and then you just like hear like 3 doors over there's someone fucking. So like Maryland, of course there's more to Maryland than The Wire and people going Balmer and eating crab. Bethesda, Maryland, I think it is. I could be wrong, but I know there's more to Maryland than that. What is there to Maryland beyond The Wire and crabs and people going Balmer? There's also the NSA campus. Oh, that's nice. That's charming. Unemployment cat. This coin will go to the moon, and it is endorsed by Mark Cuban. Oh, well, I mean, like, eventually there's going to be, like, unemployment coin, all right? and he's going to make it happen. Guinness Blonde. Oh, well, I mean, like, the cat was a yellow kind of cat. The cat was a real jerk, by the way.
Yeah, a little bit. He's not in the mood for shit right now.
Cat can go fuck himself.
This is fair.
But ladies and jerks, we appreciate because the cat was making a scene earlier, and then there have been times earlier when the cat is all like
when he wants pets, he jumps down, but like when you want to give him pets, he's like, get the fuck out of here.
And then every once in a while, he's just like, oh hey, I'm here now. I'm gonna walk on this. I'm gonna. All right.
That cat's just old.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, like, if he wasn't such a fucking tubblard motherfucker, he wouldn't be in this position now, wouldn't he, Wild Goose?
Uh-oh, more hydrate. I'm gonna drink while I eat the food, too. What do you mean?
And then he's gonna drink after he eats the food.
Yeah.
So listen, AFDH, you're not the boss of Monoxus, all right?
Oh. There goes the food.
And then we have to hydrate again. Oh, Parzival. All right, now hang on, Parzival.
Yep, come right out.
Why you gotta be like that, Parzival? All right, fine. Everyone jump onto the hydrate train, all right? Everyone while you can. And then Madman Muzan, hang on. You're not wrong. So, hey, listen, AFDH with your fucking metric system. No, go to hell. If it ain't in ounces, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, alright, buddy? I think these truly... Listen, it is water, all right? Don't worry. I mean, if it was anything else, like, we would be wincing and then, like, you would even smell it to the camera. Listen, when we get back, we're going to have to hold Monoxus to this because he's going to have to hydrate as well, all right? So you just don't grab your ankles just yet. It's not SummerSlam, but hang on, all right? We're going to get to you in just a moment. Oh, you make it seem like everyone is drinking.
All right, Haynes. You know what that means?
What does that mean?
Fucking done.
Oh, you have to retain your hydration.
Oh, fuck yourselves.
You've got it. No, listen. Right as you left, it kept happening.
Yeah, I know. I saw. Tell them to go fuck
It keeps happening. Look.
I know it keeps happening because they're jerks.
You have to listen. You have to hydrate before they leave.
All right, hold on. I definitely took a sip when Madman moves on for his first one. So I owe 3.
All right. You see, he came through.
Cheers. Alright, I'm killing the stream because they're going to keep doing it.
Alright. Fuck! Alright. Someone has to keep record of this, alright?
Alright, ready?
Alright.
1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Fuck. Always throw rock.
It finally panned out. All right, ladies and jerks, buenas noches. Thank you for coming on by.
We're trying to psych each other out. Come on. All rock. Until it wasn't.
It was like playing chicken, all right? That's what it was like, El Primo.
Yeah, we gotta go. Gonna go eat. Back next Saturday.
Listen, buenas noches. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you all in hell.
Good night.